The following may contain offensive language, adult humor, and or content that some viewers may find offensive. The views and opinions expressed by any one speaker does not explicitly or necessarily reflect or represent those of Mark Radulich or W2M Network. Please listen with caution, or don't listen at all.
Your Christmas with body count. Your Christmas with body count. Yeah. Spend your Christmas with body count. Your Christmas with body count. Oh yeah. Yo, let's introduce the Jukebox crew. First up is Mark Radulich, the boss of the show. Keeping it steady when the chaos flows. There's Juicy J, Jesse Starcher, lyrical beast. Dropping the knowledge from west to east. From metal cool, Robert, a rip, and king with headbang so hard, jingle the strings. And last but not least, undercover with Wanamaker. She's fighting the charts like a Christmas Mark Burger. Spend your Christmas with body count. Your Christmas with body count. Yeah. Jukebox signing off. See you under the mistletoe.
I'm so fucking proud of myself.
I forgot that we had an intro for that show or for the show. That's great.
The way you pronounced my name was so.
Yes, and newcomer Mick Wanamaker.
Yeah.
I misheard that.
It's so good. Yes, folks, it is the Metal Hammer of Doom Jukebox. I am your host, the mandated reporter, and frankly, I'm mortified. We got Juicy J, Robert Cooper, and Mick Wanamaker here to celebrate with Christmas cheer. Jesse, how great was that AI generated with ChatGPT and suno.ai Christmas jingle based off of body counts in the house?
Yeah, chef's kiss. That was beautiful.
What do you think,
was
Robert?
beautiful.
I was greatly impressed by it, yet still slightly worried for my future in the music industry, which is now non-existent. The computers can do better than me, and I know it.
Yeah, that's a lot of industries and more coming along the way. Mick, how great was that?
That was fantastic. I loved it so much. I mean, frankly, I hate AI, but that was awesome.
We are tonight discussing Body Counts Merciless, and that's how we're spending Christmas. And I was like, we absolutely need to Christmas this up. So I spent some time and put that together. And let me tell you, I have been excited about nothing else, including our pre-recording conversation. Nothing has made me more excited than playing that song for you guys. So
yeah, it goes that then Poontang Train.
That's off-air conversation, Robert. Jesse,
Are we kidding?
I went back on my word. I told you I wasn't gonna shop for the kids this Christmas.
Okay.
I was just gonna take them on a trip. So these two provincial geniuses, Daddy will take you anywhere. Daddy's not buying Christmas gifts this year, but I will take you on a trip anywhere in the region you want to go. And they heard trip and not region, and immediately like blurted Disney.
Oh yeah.
I rolled my eyes and died inside. But I've never actually taken him to Disney by myself. That was always a Melissa thing. Like on my days off, when we had Disney passes, she would take the kids to Disney when they were little. So this will be the first time in their entire lives it's just been us three. So that's what we're doing on the Sunday after Christmas. That's the Christmas present. But I had one. Do you remember? Because I just listened to this not that long ago. Do you remember the conversation we had on one of the Metal Hammer of Dooms where I was spazzing out that I bought Jonas a 12-inch hero figure, but it didn't have a villain, and this became like a saga.
Oh,
where I had to buy
sounds
him.
Like something.
Yeah, I had to buy him the right toy, and it had to have a villain and everything. I had kind of one of those moments where I didn't want the lasting image of Kraven the Hunter to be the movie we just saw. So I got him the graphic novel of Kraven's Last Hunt.
Oh my god.
That's such a
Right.
that's good parenting right there.
That's a pretty heavy ending. I'll tell you that much to that book. Wow.
Just as we're recording this, he got inducted into the National Honor Society today. I think he can handle it. He's a
nerd.
Thank you also. So, and then I got his sister a hooded sweatshirt that says Defy on it, with the witch's hat. So, wicked.
You did it. Good job.
So yes. Yep. So now they all have something to at least one thing for me to open at their grandparents on Christmas Eve. So
Aww.
How's your Christmas season going, Jesse?
Oh, it's going right along here. I've got to, I don't know how much further I can procrastinate to go out and buy gifts for the wife, but I'm pushing it.
Time to wrap yourself up in paper, my friend.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Step one, get a box. And then.
Nope. But aren't you married to her already?
Oh,
hey.
Ha-cha-cha.
I think the plan is I want to take the kids to go shopping here for mommy and their siblings, and then do this Christmas shopping. So that's probably going to be in the span of 2 days. So luckily tomorrow's my last day and I got 2 weeks off. So got
what do you buy for the wife who only wants her husband to love her and has everything?
Can you buy her credits to the TikTok shop?
What'd you say, Mick? Wait, what'd you say, Mick?
It's my dick in a box.
Look, if you're gonna make dick jokes, I'm gonna need you to yell them because I want to hear it as you say it.
Yeah.
Mark really wants the women to give him a dick.
We'll talk about that later.
When you've been married this long, it is actually kind of tough to not repeat stuff. And okay, well, I can only buy you a spatula so many years.
But did you get her a spatula with a bat on it?
Good point, Coop.
Please tell me one year you bought her a vacuum and was like, wink.
Okay, maybe.
Maybe I did. When I was 4 years old, the only thing my stepdad got my mom for Christmas was a pair of green socks. So every year I have got a girl I'm dating socks. It's been a thing. We've just exchanged socks. On top of everything else.
Though.
I know. Oh, yeah. No, as the older I get, the more I'm like, man, I can get some really fucking cool socks.
You say so.
No, you know what? That's because you haven't got cool socks, Mark Radulich. I don't let you wear them at the funny farm.
I don't wear socks at the funny farm, but I wear socks for work, and no, I'll tell you what, the one of my many haunts, there's usually a theme when you go there, like this week is Harry Potter week, this week is Star Wars, this week is BDSM night. And I'm always just in like a band t-shirt and basketball shorts and flip-flops. I give no fucks.
Oh, no. This week is summer or 120 days in Sodom week.
No, Mick, I don't. That's the thing. I don't dress up for those things. I don't dress up for Halloween. I am, when I don't have to work, I am strictly shorts and basketball shorts. I also don't want to move out of Florida. I don't want to move to a place where I have to wear pants.
Still, shame. I shame.
I understand.
It's okay. You can dress up for the rest of us because I'm too lazy.
Hey, I dress up for podcasts. Look at me. I'm rocking. The kid don't know, but you boys know. MHOD, baby.
Oh, I just got the Gorgon shirt on because I didn't get to go to any
instructions. This is a Christmas show and only Mick listens.
Have yourself a creepy little Christmas.
You're the best.
Nice.
What was that?
Nice.
That's a cool sweater.
I was trying to read it, but I got distracted.
You did.
You can't see shit.
Yeah. What can I say? Just like Ray Charles, I have to have my ways.
It says, have yourself a creepy little Christmas, which is very appropriate after that last remark. So what's going on with you this Christmas season, Mick?
Well, so we're in the middle of moving right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been busy and fun. But Dorian and I are probably going to go over to my parents for Christmas Eve, spend the night, and then do Christmas Day.
Oh.
But I'm jealous. He buys better presents for my family than I do.
Some people just have that knack. Like I do not have that knack. I don't know what to get people. It's really
especially
tough.
when it's your own family. You've bought the same things over and over again.
You should know. You would think you'd be able to, get one up on somebody else buying them a gift, but nope.
Thanksgiving week, I had to have my parents came over. We did breakfast, and I needed them for something. So they came over. We did the thing I needed them for, and then we had breakfast. And I said to them at the time, I'm like, look, I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm not buying anyone any gifts this year. And my Jewish mother and atheist father, the fuck you're not. Here's my wish list, motherfucker. Body count. I'm like, all right. So
there you go.
Yeah, I went on. My dad yelled, "Fuck a vegan." I don't understand what was happening.
Fuck a vegan.
By the way, did you listen to all 87 body count podcasts I sent you, Mick?
No.
Okay. Didn't do the homework. Good.
I listened to the album I was supposed to.
You know what?
There
you
you
came
go.
more prepared than some, so all credit. But yeah, they were like, here's our wish list. Just buy something off of it. And I'm like, whatever. I hate this.
It was funny. It was so my high school choir, like when I was back in high school, they do the alumni choir for the Christmas concert, and so my brother and I both did it. We both graduated, but he's moving out of state next year, so he was like, "This is the last chance. I'm gonna come too." So we did a little picture for our mom and whatnot. But while we were at the concert, I asked him if he was going to be there during Christmas, and he said no. He's going to his girlfriend's during Christmas. I was like, does that mean I don't have to get you a present? And he goes, yeah. So we're not getting each other presents.
Right. So with you moving, you're not like decorating or anything. I would imagine it would be impossible in the middle of a move.
I'm leaving that up to my parents.
Okay.
Because we're going to be there. Right. And so we're just moving house here. But.
Yeah, same thing. My parents have a tree up and everything. They've got whatever Christmas decorations. Though I had an interesting thing happen on the way home from taking my son to his mom's last night. Because I moved in August into my bachelor pad. And
hello, Natalia.
And while I'm not in the same depressing, like quasi-suicidal headspace I was last year around this time, Jesse and Robert know. Boy, what a podcast that was.
Oh yeah, that was fuck everything.
Yeah, I don't still feel the need to decorate. The live trees, cause me to get sicker than I normally get around this time of year. I don't really want to put up a fake tree. I don't feel the need to decorate. We'll go to my parents. I'll do whatever with the kids. I'll wear my fun Christmas t-shirts, but I don't feel the need to decorate my house. And then my son goes, everyone just fucks up all my plans. My son goes, Father, he calls me Father. He says, Father, can we get a menorah? Can we light the menorah this holiday season?
That's kind of sweet.
It was, and took me completely by surprise. I was like, dude, I'm Jewish for the jokes. Where is this coming from? All credit to the ex. There was a year or two where she really tried to do the Jewish traditions around this time, because she was like, I think the kids should know both their sides of the family. I don't know both my sides of the family. I know no fucking Hebrew. I was a bar mitzvah, and I don't know why everyone's obsessing over this, but by God, there were a few years there where we did Hanukkah with the kids. Just remember that, Jesse? We went to Ollie's, where we're all good Jews celebrate Hanukkah.
God, I fucking love Ollie's.
All right. Great. You got anything going on, Coop, before we move on to the actual portion of our show?
See, I'm just like, I don't know. Now I just feel like I'm even more pathetic than usual. I did not put up a tree, because last time I put up a tree was when I had the first ex here, and she left it up for me to take down when she moved out. It was great. I also am only getting the boys' gifts. I told my mom I really wanted to get her a full years of, well, it used to be Bally Sports South, and now it's the FanDuel Sports Network, because she loves watching the Atlanta Braves. And she can't, because regional sports networks. But then she was like, your hours got cut at work, fuck off. I said, okay, mother. So instead I got my best friend Nick, who one day will be on this podcast, because we went to WrestleCade this year, because my sleazy uncle who wants my grandmother to die got me a ticket. And as much as I hate to take his blood money, like, free ticket's a free ticket. So I met
There
Jay
you go.
White and bought a figure of him and got him to sign it. Because Nick and I always have a joke that every time Jay White comes on the TV, we're like, he's doing it for his boys. He's doing it for Nick and Coop.
You should have had him sign your Switchblade.
Yeah, the funny thing was it came with a box cover. So I'm there with them, and I text his wife. I'm like, he doesn't know this is his Christmas. Beyond that, my two other friends that I was like, what do y'all want? Because I had ideas, but at this point, it's just easier to ask. Because, they asked me and I sent it to them. Unlike with my dad, who asked me in September and got it in almost December because I kept forgetting to send it to him. He's like, son. He calls me son. He's like, what do you want for Christmas? And I'm like, oh, Father, you wish to give me things for free. Oh, I got to make you work for it. So, so I finally fucking sent it to him. But the funny thing is I get in the last year's Christmas too, because I haven't seen him at his house in like 2 years. The entire time I saw him this past year was at an old folks home with my grandma. So he just wasn't really in the Christmas spirit for some reason. I don't know why. Something his mother was dying. I mean, I guess he just got tired of Ronald Reagan. So he had to get the next best thing.
Super. The one thing, hang on. One nice thing I really did for my mom though is for a couple of years, Melissa would do a Shutterfly calendar of pictures of the kids for my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Or I think one year she did a blanket for her. You can do all kinds of gifts on Shutterfly with pictures. So I did the calendar for her this year, but it's all the movie pictures I take of my kids.
Aw, it's really cute.
Yeah. So thank God Red 1 came out in November, or I wouldn't have had a December picture.
Oh, fucking Red 1. I watched that movie. It was aggressively mediocre.
All right.
Not humbug. But that does remind me, someday I need to get my mom a fucking digital picture frame. Those things are the coolest.
They are.
I bought one. I was going to say I bought one for my mom, and I'm pretty certain it's still sitting in the box. So just be ready, because if they don't know how to operate technology, it's not going to go well.
Well, that's why you set it up for them, and then when they send you cute things, you just upload it yourself.
Okay. That's a fucking headache.
Yeah, like, would you get one for your wife, Jesse?
I hear you, Coop.
I'm giving you gift ideas, champ. Damn.
I hear
All
you.
right.
I love gift giving, except I'm broke. Those things don't go well.
No, they don't.
Help me God. So Jesse, we are talking about Ice-T's body count tonight, and we will discuss that momentarily. But Ice-T used to be a rapper and a man once.
Yeah.
And
and a man
what
once.
Wait.
He is
what?
He is the OG who likes to get buck naked and fuck. That's what he said on the album one time.
But he also likes to say "gung gung."
I don't know what.
Sure.
Law and Order.
Oh, that's a Law and Order joke.
Oh,
Nice.
This guy.
I appreciate that.
I was like, what Korean were you just speaking?
I only knew Ice-T from Law and Order like for the longest time.
Okay, are you aware of what an Ice-T is now, and like and all his other contributions to culture?
I met him in person. I'll tell that story later.
That's right.
Oh, please do. I've told the story 1,000 times, but I have also met Ice-T in person. Apparently, a lot of people have met Ice-T. He gets around. But yeah, definitely want to hear this. So back to you, Jesse. Our first video of the night before we get into talking about body count. This is from his solo rap career. This is Microphone Contract. Tell us about it.
Yeah, well, it's been a while since I've seen the video, but he does a cover of this song on the album. Mm-hmm. And I was so excited because as soon as I heard it, I was like, wait, I know it's called Mic Contract on Merciless, but regardless, I was like, it's been a while since I listened to some. This is about the era that I remember. This album, I think this is off of OG, Original Gangster, and this album sold a lot. I think this was where he really broke through. So I was like, oh, I wonder if they have a video for that song. And sure enough, I haven't watched all of it. It's going to be fun.
All right, here we go with Microphone Checker or Contract.
1, 2, checker.
Check.
Mic checker.
My check.
So this is 92. I got to look this up just to see. I'm pretty sure this is 92 when this comes out. About this time, I start dating my wife. And then
30s, right?
32 years ago, huh?
I said that was the 30s, right?
Yeah, that was the 30s. I seen. What this is almost akin to one of those videos that we always hate that metal bands do, where they're just kind of on stage. But in this case, it's just Ice-T in the studio.
He's in the studio and posing around town.
Or walking around train tracks.
Here's the Sparks Factory. Here's the Sparks Factory in the background.
Right. It's our Mix-a-Lot Metal Church. Hey, Ice-T!
Well, they all do their rap videos.
See, this is back before people were doing things for clout, because if this were nowadays, somebody would try to jump in on that. Back then, they just knew they were going to die.
My very first Ice-T album that I listened to in elementary school because I wasn't parented was Power. And I remember Power because there was a song on it that was an acronym, but it stood for Let's Get Buck Naked and Fuck. And let me tell you how that got a lot of play in my room, in my house.
Man, oh man, that would have been right beside the Weird Al tape where my stepdad just took it and strung it out just like this. I don't know what he would have done if he would have heard that.
You know, my parents didn't give a fuck what I listened to as long as they didn't have to hear it. That was the rule.
Okay,
that's fair.
I just listen to nothing but instinct.
I was not raised in rap, so I.
I kind of was not. The funny thing though is that, like for example, my mom loved Genesis. I didn't know Genesis was a good song rap video. I didn't know about the whole 70s. I'm just discovering that now. I'm like, damn it, mother. How dare you listen to that in the fucking Moody Blues?
My cousin who ran a record store gave me a whole bunch of Genesis I Can't Dance swag. So you got like posters and like, pinups and stuff like that. And I'm sitting at a family barbecue and I'm kind of like looking through this stuff innocently by minding my own business. And his brother walked into the barbecue and like an animal just looks at me and he sees the poster like it offended him personally. He's like, mind you, the album is called I Can't Dance. They can't dance. They can't write. They can't. Like, he cut a promo on my poster.
Jeez.
I was like, dude, what the fuck? And then I moved to Florida.
That's what it was, actually. You should blame him. He's like, you know what? I got to thank you. Because if it weren't for you, I'd still be up in this whole popsicle in New York.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons I left New York. My idiot family is one of them.
You know what's funny is I actually really do like parts of that album, but because there's actual stuff on there that I'm like, oh, damn, Phil Collins, you got dark.
Boy, in true Metal Hammer of Doom fashion, we're watching an Ice-T video and talking about Genesis.
Talking about music and not my anus.
This is true. At least no one's telling a bathroom story or a story about their cat.
I mean, I could tell both.
No,
I was just gonna say. So once I took this fat shit and.
Hold on, that's paid content.
Welcome to the podcast, Mick. What are you doing?
I was talking to a coworker about that. I'm like, you think I could have my OnlyFans bitch of guys with really fucked up legs? What were you saying?
I was asking Mick what she's drinking tonight.
Oh, Jim Beam, but they came out with like this what's called Sunshine Blend.
Hold it up.
Whoops,
there you go.
Sunshine Blend.
Take it easy.
Is it like festive in some way? Is it like a Christmas
not really.
Beam? Okay.
Wait, so I looked it up because I was confused of like what makes it sunshine, and apparently they took the original recipe and also brewed it with brown rice.
Interesting. I'm just drinking Mega Man flavored energy drink because I don't have to work till noon tomorrow. So it's at Dollar Tree. Go buy it because I love Dollar Tree.
Dollar Tree slap.
Dollar Tree and Ollie's best friends.
I'm drinking a Sprite Zero because I ran out of beer.
Fair.
Water.
You just gotta stop treating all those fine gals of the night.
She brought her own wine. I'll thank you very much. She brought a white wine, and we
Oh
drank it
yeah,
out of
was it from her toilet?
and we drank it out of close, and we drank it out of solo cups like trash because
Red Solo cup?
because
Yeah, baby.
I don't have dinnerware or glasses.
Do
Rebuilding.
I need to send you cutlery for Christmas, Mark?
No, that I do have. That I got immediately. All right, so let's talk about for fuck's sake. Let's talk about body count.
What are we here for?
Body count.
Body count. All right, body count. So Body Count's an American heavy metal band formed in Los Angeles in 1990. The group is obviously fronted by Ice-T, who we were just talking about, who first established himself as a rapper, but co-founded the group with lead guitarist Ernie C, motherfucker, out of their interest in heavy metal music. Ice-T took on the role of vocalist and writing the lyrics for most of the Body Count songs, while Ernie C has been responsible for writing the group's music. So they are probably most famous, at least back then, for Cop Killer.
Better you than me.
Betty, that's right. Fuck police brutality. That song got yanked off the album, Cop Killer self-titled first album, after the Rodney King beating and the riots and all of that and the trial. And Ice-T basically, I think there was a window there where they were gonna put it back on it, and Ice-T was like, no, just leave it off. I would prefer to not have this lightning rod where everyone's blaming me for problems with the cops. like I'm reacting to decades of police maltreatment of the black community. I would prefer to not be a scapegoat.
Did I ever tell you that Nick and I rewrote that song once to be about our friend Thad's father, who instead of taking the pets for euthanasia, would just make his sons hold down the pet while he shot him. We called it cat killer.
No.
Yeah. It's because, it's all about him running out in his underwear, because there was a time they played a prank by lighting fireworks off in his front yard, and his dad came running out 10 minutes later with a pistol in his whitey tighties, which, I don't know why it took 10 minutes, but they called the cops, and the cops were like, well, guys, I think you got pranks played on you. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, so it's just a song about running around your whitey tighties and just shooting your pets. It's great.
That's
nice. How much do you remember? I'm gotta move past this. How much do you remember of our first review, Robert and Jesse? I think the first one, it was just me and Robert. Merciless was it was definitely me and you. I don't remember if Robert made that one or not, but we've done all of the modern body count stuff that was post not Merciless. Shit, what was it?
I got your album list. Yeah, I was gonna say you have. There was Manslaughter in 2014.
Right,
I was in that one.
That's what kicked it off, because I knew we were going to review that one when it came out, so I went back and we reviewed the first one.
Carnivore in 2017.
It's not there for
and
no,
I think
Bloodlust was 2017. Carnivore was 2020. Fuck a vegan. And then we got Merciless now.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. And we did, of course, go back and revisit. I know you and I went back and revisited them. Coop might have been part of that too, when we went and definitely did the Body Count 1992 album. We did a little.
Yeah, I was there for the original. I was like, yes, Evil Dick.
Yes.
Don't sleep alone, baby.
Yes.
All right, let's not leave the poor girl behind. How much, besides Merciless, have you gotten the chance to listen to any other Body Count stuff?
Okay, so like I said earlier, I knew Ice-T from Law and Order.
Right.
And then I was supposed to go see him in concert at Louder Than Life in 22, but how the setup was is sometimes you'd have sacrifice like going to one show versus another show.
Sure.
And I went and saw Guar instead of Body Count. So I never ended up seeing them. But then that night I met them at their hotel.
Okay, tell us the story real quick.
Okay. So me and my friends, we were on our own little group, but we were meeting up with a bigger group in Kentucky, but they decided to stay at a higher end hotel that was closer to the venue. And so we were over there and we were waiting for the elevator, and then we just see Ice-T coming around, and there's this guy following him with like a streaming, like it was just his phone, but he had like a camera rig with it. And so Ice-T just looks at us and goes, and then that was like the best thing ever since sliced bread.
Yeah. Awesome.
He gave us the little head flip.
Got your head nod. Nice.
Yeah, and then we went to the lobby later, and the rest of the band of Body Count was there, just chatting. And what was funny was they were chatting with like a lot of like, I want to say either like 40 to 50, 60-year-old white moms who were not there. They were not there for the concert. They were not there for anything. They were just vacationing on their own regard.
Right.
And they were just chatting these guys up, and they're like, "Oh, I heard these guys are in a band. Have you heard of them?" And we're like, "They're Body Count." And they're like, "We don't know what that means."
And it's so simple. Well, they're in the house. That's what you have to understand.
Yeah. Oh, yes,
Body Count.
they are.
Right. So we got to meet the whole gang. We met Ice-T first, and then the rest of the band later. But it was so bizarre because it was just such a casual like, "Hey, what's up? Are you waiting for the elevator?" It's like, yeah.
Nice. So Robert and Jesse have heard this story, so I won't do a whole elaborate thing, but just to catch you up to speed. So I was in Los Angeles between college and grad school, trying to break into film, and my friend came down to see The Phantom Menace with me. So this is 1999, and we do what all good boys do when you're partying in Los Angeles. We went to a strip club on the Sunset Strip. I don't remember which one we went into, but we were there. We were hanging out, doing what you do in strip clubs. And I look over, and I see this like mass of guys come in, and leading the pack is Ice-T. And as a brief aside, I grew up listening to rap music. I lived in an all-black neighborhood. I was like the only white kid in that part of Long Island, for the most part. And I listened to what the music of the neighborhood was. So, it was like Run DMC, LL Cool J, the Fat Boys, because again, I'm 100. But I also listened to Ice-T. And I was a huge fan. As I said before, I loved Power and everything that came out after that, well before OG. So he walks in, and I said to my friend Tom, I said, "Tom, I'm like, fucking Ice-T over there." And he was like, "Oh, shit." And I'm like, I'm gonna go walk up to him. He's like, "No, leave the man alone, for God's sakes. We're in a strip club. Don't be a nerd." And I'm like, I'm just gonna tell him how much I'm a fan because I don't want him to be attacked. I don't want to be attacked or anything. Like, get out of here, kid. So I'm in my 20s at this point. So I walked over to him, and I was like, "Hey, I just want to let you know I've been a fan of yours since I was a kid. You're just absolutely outstanding. I love everything that you've done. Love Body Count. I just want to let you know you're a huge part of my musical upbringing." He was like, "Thank you. I really appreciate that. It was nice of you to say that." And I said, "You have a great night, sir." And I walked away. That was it. I didn't ask for an autograph because you don't do that sort of thing. I just wanted to shake his hand. Shook his hand, told him how great I thought he was. He said, "You're a good boy," patted me on the head, spanked me in the ass, and sent me on my way. I go back. So between Tom and I'm the more outgoing one. Go figure. And I go back to the table where Tom's at, and I tell him what's going on. And then one of the strippers comes by, and she was like, "Were you just talking to Ice-T?" And I'm like, "I was. He's a really nice guy." He's like, "Oh my God, he's such a loser." And I'm like, "Wait, I'm like, what?" And she goes, "He's such a loser. He's in here every week." I was like, "That's some cold shit when you're dissed by a fucking stripper for not having a life." Anyway, so if you don't know anything about Body Count's early stuff, and Jesus Christ, go back and listen to some of those reviews from the old-timey Blog Talk Radio times or some of the early Spreaker stuff, because like I said, we reviewed everything from 2014 on. Those are some lengthy conversations, Jesse. Do you remember these? Man, we talked. I think going back and listening to them again in preparation for tonight, we agreed on the following. They are an aggressively silly band or a silly aggressive band. Like almost to the point of parody. Only they don't know that. It's like I think I described Ice-T as like autistic once, like angry and autistic. Like he looked at thrash metal and went, "That's what I want to do." And it's like the most awkward.
Look, mama, I'm in a band.
Look what I can do.
Like he heard Slayer's "Angel of Death" and was like, "I can do that," and proceeded to just make the silliest album you'll ever hear. But it's awesome. like somebody wrote in a Reddit thread. He was like, "How did Ice-T become like stay radical all these years?" It is Ice-T's body count is like that angry relative who thinks he's smart and wants to tell you all about it and keep you as a hostage in a conversation. And you're just like none of these points are particularly well thought out, but he has such conviction, Jesse.
Oh yeah. I actually fed all of our podcasts that we did into Notebook LM.
Yes, talk all about this.
Well, I mean, I essentially want to echo the same sentiment that you just did, really.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we clearly focused on the aggression.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you had a chance to listen to the full podcast that I created on that the AI podcast, but it was talking about.
I did, and I played it for Jonas, and he went, "This is AI, right?" He's like, "Yeah, this sucks." Like, he went on a fucking rant. He was like, "This is AI. It fucking sucks, and I'll tell you why." He was like, "They clearly, like, this is clearly two computers talking to each other."
Oh yes, it is.
Welcome to the future, there, big guy.
Yeah,
it's so stupid.
I heard. Oh no. Okay. Anyway, they kept talking about the pussification of man, which was hilarious to hear them like mispronounce it all. Obviously,
that was all fucking over manslaughter. We had an extended conversation about that.
Right. But I see very masculine, very aggressive.
Yes.
Very. It's kind of weird to kind of watch him. This album, as we get into it, he's getting older, so he has some political views. Granted, he might have an opinion, but it's weird to hear him kind of talk about that, which is, I say it's weird. It's probably the evolution of somebody, as you grow older, you start to grow concerned about things you didn't think you were going to be talking about back in the past. I just can't see, Ice-T rapping about some of the stuff that he talks about here in Merciless. Just saying, but he is very radical. You mentioned, how can he have stayed radical so long? He definitely is a driven individual. And I love it. I hope he, at 80 years old, there's a bitch in the pit. He's going to be screaming that from the stage.
Yeah, at 80 years old, I need Evil Dick Part 2.
No, yes.
Evil Dick doesn't work anymore. I slammed my dick in the door. Evil Dick.
He's screaming at it because
Nick,
it will
your
not.
homework tonight is, when this podcast is over, just listen to Evil Dick and get back to
us.
I don't care if you listen to Cop Killer or Voodoo or Body Counts in the House, but you have to listen to Evil Dick.
Evil Dick. Okay.
We should just throw it on the podcast, live reaction.
Hold on. I'll put it.
Remind me in 1 hour, please.
I got it.
Evil Dick.
I got it.
Before I get into some of the band's accolades, and they do have them, oddly enough. It's funny to go back and listen to stuff from a decade ago, and it was a decade ago. We reviewed Manslaughter in 2014. My son had just been born. My daughter was 3. I hadn't died of cancer. It was just a different world back then.
I still live with my mom.
You still live in the basement with your mom. Not that your mom was in the basement, but you were.
No, I was in the laundry room, and she locked me in.
And Nick, you were in elementary school?
Intermediate? It was either 5th or 6th grade.
Ooh, good time.
Has anyone asked you yet why you spend your evenings with old men?
No.
That sounds a lot worse than it's supposed to, sir.
Deeply guarded secret. Doesn't leave here. She's not sharing the YouTube link.
So going back to like the pussification of America, we said on that podcast, it was really prophetic, because so there's Ice-T railing against what we would come to know as like wokeness, metrosexuals, just like the whole, the reaction to what it was perceived as or labeled as toxic masculinity. There's Ice-T going, this is the bad road to go down. This is ridiculous. And I'm making music editorializing my stance against this. And 10 years later, we have an election that bared out exactly what Ice-T was saying, that if you do this, you were going to cause a chain reaction that's going to cause people to backlash. And if you look at, not that I want to get into a whole conversation about this, I'm just saying how funny it was to hear that and know what happened in November, that there was at least in some analysis of the election that it was a backlash against like the treatment of men in media. And it's funny to hear that like that's exactly what Ice-T was talking about way back 10 years ago, that this is where we ended up. Like, you know, people, I guess what I'm saying is Ice-T's going, don't do this, don't pussify men, yada, yada, yada. And then at the end of 10 years, men going, we're done with all of this, rah! And, you know, and we elect Ronald McDonald for a second time. It's fantastic. What a country. God bless America.
I just realized how much I blocked out of the fact that this year there was an election. I was like, what election?
He was looking around like, what year is this?
the election to the Ukraine? It's a weird thing to bring up on this podcast.
Like, I'm not sure what's happening. No.
I'm looking at you make a face and I'm just like, oh, she's getting mad at me for talking about this. No, you had no idea what the fuck I was talking about.
I was literally just like in my head. I was like, there was an election.
That's amazing. All right, so awards and nominations. They won Best Metal Performance in 2017 for Black Hoodie, or they were nominated rather. And then in 2020, they won Best Metal Performance at the Grammys for Bum Rush. Besides that, some charts that go from here. In 92, they were 86 and 35 respectively for There Goes the Neighborhood on the Australian and New Zealand charts. That's where they peaked. The Winner Loses. It's listed as charted, but it doesn't say where. Their cover of Hey Joe. God, body count in their covers. Oi.
Oh yeah.
Their cover of Hey Joe from the Stone Free, a tribute to Jimi Hendrix, was 67 and 31. Born Dead from 1994, 52 in Australia, 32 Germany, 44 in Switzerland, and 28 in the UK. Necessary Evil peaked at 41 in Switzerland and 45 in the UK. Other ones that were charted, but they don't give a number, were Truth or Death and I Used to Love Her from Violent Demise. Back to Rehab. You remember Back to Rehab, Jesse?
Oh, I do. Do I ever?
Back to Rehab. Just imagine an angry old black guy yelling at you to go to rehab. That's Back to Rehab. It's very effective.
His name is Greg.
Just chase you around going, go back to rehab.
Don't be stupid around Ice-T. He's going to write a song about you. All right? Because
I wouldn't be surprised if like he writes a song about some people waiting for an elevator.
Okay, I got to talk about that for a second. So, are you aware of the song Institutionalized by Suicidal Tendencies?
Yes, I wanted to talk about this. Oh my god.
All right, I'll shut up and let you go.
What?
Go. Yeah, hit it.
Oh, okay. So I was like listening through, and then my Spotify just kept playing his music, and then his version of Institutionalized came up, and I just
want to play Xbox.
I totally forgot that he did a cover of Institutionalized, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Do you know much? What does he say? Do you know how much blood is in the human body?
I just want to play my Xbox.
Just wanted a ham sandwich.
Did I mention he comes across as quasi-autistic and doesn't realize why things work? Jesus Christ.
Just need my password.
What do you mean you sent it to my email? What the fuck?
That's fucking hilarious.
Oh my god, Ice-T. I'll explain my previous statement in just a second, but I have my own story here. So again, my son and I are listening to Merciless on the way home from school, and it also went right to, apparently everyone's fucking algorithm is programmed the same way, because ours went right to his version of Institutionalized. And my son looked up from his TikTok, and he looks at me, and he looks at Spotify, and he looks at me again, he goes like, this is fucking hilarious. I just want to play Xbox. And he is howling with laughter. And then he gets to the part where he's like, I just want to eat my ham sandwich. Do you know how unhealthy that is? Do you know how much blood there is in the human body, motherfucker? You have an anger problem.
I don't have an anger problem.
Jonas is in tears laughing at this. And I'm like, all right. And so he was like, explain this to me, father. So I told him, I'm like, what's the cover?
He calls you father.
He called me father. I said, all right, Jonas, this is a cover of a punk rock song. By the way, he is very anti-punk rock.
Really?
Oh yeah, my newly inaugurated into the Honor Society genius son thinks punk rockers and his sister by extension are full of shit.
Oh, his sister by extension.
Oh, well, okay. No, that makes sense because
I think actually it's backwards. His sister and then punk rock is by extension. But go ahead.
Yeah.
My son is maybe 10 in years and body, but has the spirit of an old 65-year-old conservative. He's just like, you kids, and you're so full of horse shit. Like, all right, Jonas. It's like sitting, just walks out of the house, just like starts shaking his fist at people. Keep the noise down. Why is a 10-year-old yelling? Anyway. So
trying to do night Sudoku.
Who is this?
So I had to explain to him who Suicidal Tendencies were, who Mike Muir was, and I played for him the original song, which his only takeaway from the original Institutionalized was he's now going to just demand everyone give him a Pepsi, so he can complain that nobody will give him a Pepsi, which is your only takeaway from that song. But it brought up a discussion.
You didn't give it to him, did you?
And not even a little bit.
He didn't give it to him, just a Pepsi.
So
all he wanted was a Pepsi.
Jesse, you want to get in on this?
Oh no! All he wants is a Pepsi.
Yes,
that's all I wanted.
I'm done. I can't
do that.
Now we all got this out of our system. The original song, it speaks to the deference of parenting in the 80s. Of we will take a step back and allow the churches and the schools and society to raise you. And if you don't turn out to be the perfect mannequin robot that we want you to be, then clearly we have to send you someplace else, which was a thing in the 80s, you know, deprogramming camps and stuff like that, whether it was because you were gay or because you were deemed to be mentally ill, whatever God, if those people could see us now. But that was a lot of what was going on, and that was what Mike Muir was talking about in Institutionalized. And it's a funny song, but at least his song had a point. This is the youth yelling back at the parents and institutions. And he says it at the end of the song, I went to your schools, I went to your institutions, I went to your church. How do you then say there's something wrong with me? I did exactly what you expected of me. And then which is why when you're a middle-aged guy screaming, I just want to decompress and play Xbox, it doesn't work. As funny as that song is.
He just wants left alone. That's all.
He just wants his password, he wants his ham sandwich, and he wants to decompress.
And to take a drink every time I say this tonight, Ice-T missed the point. So, all
right.
Now, I think what he does...
Hang on.
There you go.
That seal looks like Tom in blackface. Am I the only one that was thinking that?
You were not.
Okay.
Anyway. So, anything else about Body Count, Jesse, before we play the video for Merciless and talk about the album?
I've got nothing left.
Mick, any thoughts here? I've tried to kind of. I mean, I could go through each one of these albums, but we'll be here for the 3 hours. It's worth a listen when you have time as you're moving boxes to throw some Body Count on. Some of the shit's just weirdly hilarious. Some of it's somewhat poignant. I have to say, of all the bands that we've talked about on the Metal Hammer of Doom, and we've been doing this since 2011. I mean, I would say Body Count always got a good conversation out of us, always a long podcast. And whether we laughed or we didn't like it or whatever, it always gave us something to talk about. I mean,
this
for better or for worse, Body Count's a fun band.
We realized at one point it was tough to kind of talk about every track on an album. And that's kind of why we went to this format, because back in the day, that's what we would do. We would play the tracks and then we would talk about them. And Body Count was one of the few bands where we could probably spend a few minutes on every track. It was they had enough to say, or there was something we could say about each track. And some bands don't have that. You just get the music and you're like, okay, yeah, that was a song, and move on. These guys always either had something to say or that we could talk about, or we could poke fun at it. So yeah, Body Count has always had I kind of wish we could go track by track tonight, but I know that's not in the cards but there's a lot on this Merciless album that could be discussed for sure. That's why I always appreciate this band.
I mean, I'll just say there's one song I'm waiting to talk about, and that's something that's, when someone takes a song from a band that you really care about and they cover it.
Oh, yeah. Oh goodness.
Oh
goodness.
Boy.
Oh goodness.
So we'll get to that. But,
look how they massacred my boy.
I can't wait to hear what you have to say. I've got some thoughts on it too.
Okay, good.
God, this is going to be a long show. All right. Speaking of long shows, our next video is from the album we are going to discuss. It's the title track. This is called Merciless.
Moistless.
It's
very dry.
Take it right on the tree.
All right, Scorsese. Any relation?
Probably.
So, I have not seen this video, but I do know that this is obviously where the cover of this album comes from.
Yep.
And God bless Ice-T for being a great actor too. I mean,
well, it's funny. I didn't mention it in the preamble to all this, but we talked about how this is racial power fantasy. That's a lot of what he does. That's,
right.
He wasn't we said very specifically he was not advocating for the killing of cops. He was, however, delving into racial power fantasy.
Oh yeah.
And speaking to the inequities between the justice system and the African American community. So a lot of his stuff, and this is just another great example of it, is him playing with Black Power fantasy. What happens when you tip the balance and give the power to Black people, and they are able to, in this fantasy environment, exact revenge for decades of wrongdoing.
And I almost wish we had another Black person to comment with us on this one.
Sure.
Because it would, the message that he's trying to convey, we all feel for him and we all, agree. Mm-hmm. I hope. I hope.
Keep your racism to yourself.
Curious.
I almost wish we had another if we had a fifth person, a fellow, a Black person or someone who really liked Body Count, who was really into his music. It'd be interesting to see their point of view too.
I don't disagree with you, but here's the irony of Body Count is that exponentially more white people are going to listen to it than Black.
Oh yeah,
more white people listen to metal than Black people. That's just a fact.
Yeah, and I mean, this was my favorite song of the whole album, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't watch the video, but listening through, this was my favorite.
Our clan member actor here is really selling this stuff, though. He had the shakes there for a second.
Oh,
right?
Oh my gosh, he's got a hammer.
He's a regular Ricky Morton.
Do you think he took his practice from Law and Order?
No.
I don't want to play too many things at once, but that would have gotten a rim shot.
I misheard that initially. I was like, oh, interesting.
That you did.
I heard rim shot.
Yes.
I did not. I was like, wait a minute. That's not right.
But knowing Mark, I took it in a totally different way.
In the immortal words of Robert Winfrey, stop making it weird.
You know, it is funny, though, that this is also a man that is worth far more money than we will all ever see.
Oh, yeah.
True. No, that's fact.
That's that is sometimes the irony of it, which I'm not saying to dilute his message in any way. It's just kind of funny that he's one of the few that actually will say something about it.
Well, that hotel he was staying in that I like ran into him, it was like a 5-star hotel. It was like fucking $500 a night or some shit like that.
Well, yeah, Detective Tutuola don't stay in no fucking slum.
No.
Let's just take out the period of his life that he was making money in pimping. The man is prolific. Okay, I said that and you kind of gave me a look. Did you not know he was also a pimp?
No.
Oh, honey, there's a whole
Is that what you
documentary
mean,
about it.
wife?
I was born a lot later than all y'all.
She was born after Power for sure. I think she was probably born after OG. So
2002.
Holy shit.
Fucking hell!
He was almost out of rap. He was almost out of rap.
So old.
Like I said, I know him from Law and Order.
Yeah, we got it.
How feels to be Mark?
Yeah, Ice-T began life as a pimp and a criminal, and but he's one of these guys who's blessed with some degree of, foresight and self-motivation to where he was like, this can't, like Jack Nicholson, this can't be as good as it gets. And he started rapping, and he was gangster rap before gangster rap because he preceded another Metal Hammer of Doom Jukebox extravaganza, N.W.A. When I think the anniversary of Straight Outta Compton came out, I guess it was last year or the year before, whenever it was we did that review.
That was a fun one.
Yeah, it was. He preceded the creation of NWA, the National Wrestling Alliance, and
that's the only one that you can actually pronounce, right?
That's right. That's the only one I can say on the air. It's not the National Wrestling Alliance. And Straight Outta Compton. So, gangster rap becomes big in the mid 90s, around the same time as the Seattle sound and alternative. I fucking hate that word, but
Alternative.
Yeah, because I don't love it as a descriptor of music. Like alternative to what?
Excitement. Yeah.
I like the Seattle sound as a descriptor because at least it tells you where the music came from. I think alternative was just lazy, but that's a whole.
The alternative of mainstream music.
That can be, and so bluegrass is an alternative to mainstream music.
I think bluegrass should come back.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't like bluegrass in the slightest.
Getting off my old man pedestal and not ranting anymore. Join my son and go.
I got a bluegrass song about eating too many Fritos.
Oh my god!
Not even what?
Conor McGregor thing I said on Monday, and Robert wouldn't let it go. Moving on. So anyway, so we can talk about the album. Yeah, Ice-T was doing gangster rap before anyone knew what the fuck it was. And gangster rap is essentially he was in a, he would talk about Crenshaw and this really, really bad part of Los Angeles, and he rapped about what he saw. But he also rapped about being a pimp, and that was his whole thing at the time. But the point that I was getting to was the man's been in shit tons of movies, done a lot of voice work. Actually, he's been on Law and Order SVU for 100 years now. And again, he's had
before 2002.
He's had two distinctly different music careers because his rap career went into the mid 2000s, Jesse?
2006, I think he released something. I think it was called Gangster Rap, I believe is what it was called. I'd have to look again, but anyway, yeah, it's 2006 that they had listed.
Here's my new album, Gangster Rap. It's a little on the nose, Ice.
What genre is it?
What do you want?
His answer was, I don't give a fuck.
Fair. I respect that though. I really do.
Right.
Yeah, and so it's again, Body Count's been around since the 90s. It's still fucking going. Because again, I don't think a lot of people loved Body Count in those first couple of years, especially after the original. Once the cop killer stuff died down, I don't think people loved Born Dead. And yet Ice-T, again, who does not give a fuck, just I'm gonna keep making albums anyway. Someone's gonna listen to this bullshit. And God bless him. Here we are talking about it still.
Here we are.
All right. Merciless is the eighth studio album by American heavy metal band Body Count. It was released November 22nd, 2024 by Century Media. Like some of these record labels, like they'll take anybody. Century Media is like one of the big two in metal, and here they are.
They're one of the few left.
Yeah. Production was handled by Ice-T, Vincent Price, not that Vincent Price, and Will.
Damn it!
It features guest appearances from Corpse Grinder from Cannibal Corpse, Howard Jones from Killswitch Engage, and
Yes.
Yeah.
Joe Bad, who sounds distinctly like Randy Blythe, and Max Cavalera of Lion, formerly Sepultura. The track listings go after the interrogation interlude because Ice-T loves himself a good skit. That's not my job, asshole. My job's not to help you fucking ass out. It's so good. We have Merciless, The Purge, featuring Corpse Grinder, Psychopath, which is my favorite one off of here, featuring Joe Bad, Fuck What You Heard, Live Forever, featuring Howard Jones, Do or Die. Mick's favorite track on here, I can already tell, Comfortably Numb, which is half a cover of the Pink Floyd song.
Oh, spoilers.
Lion Motherfucker, Drug Lords, featuring Max Cavalera, World War, and then at the end, My Contract. So let's get into this. I'll throw it over to you first, Jesse. What do you think of this album?
I was really impressed. I didn't know what we was going to get, but I think out of all of the tunes, there's probably about I think 2 or 3 that okay, these are on here and they aren't my favorite. The rest of them are all hits to me. I like a lot of what's on this album. It's aggressive. It does feel like he is leaning into some of the same stuff he's kind of leaned in before, but again, that's body counts motive.
There was no new territory covered here. I think the most standout. I liked Psychopath. Psychopath tickled my eardrums, but I think the one that lyrically stood out to me, like the talk shit get shot or bum rush or some of the other songs where that spawned a whole big long conversation with us because of what he was saying, like the lyrical content. The one on here that struck me was Fuck What You Heard, because and not that this is a completely novel concept, but I liked his approach to politics as its rival gangs. That's all.
Yes.
Actually, yeah.
I love the fact that he was basically comparing the Democrats and the Republicans to Bloods and Crips, and this
pretty much.
This isn't about.
It's been there forever. I don't know how this hasn't been tied together before in a song that I've ever heard, and it took till 2024 for Body Count to put this in a song, and I was like, holy shit, it just rings so true.
It works. It really does.
It does. It gives a sort of musical voice and an interesting comparison to something that is being discussed. Again, this isn't a novel concept. People have been saying party politics have fucking ruined, the American government, and it's again decades, probably since Reagan, if not before that. But I think post Reagan is when there was so much party line voting and so much party politics that it started ruining governance. I think that started post Reagan, and I will tell you, people who have gone back and studied the Reagan era and studied the Clinton era, definitely post Clinton, probably starting with George W. Bush, how much worse this has gotten. I think people who were there in the Reagan administration and the Clinton said you could at least work with the other side, and now it's fucking. And look, we had again, not to be overly political or start this in a whole direction I don't want to go in, but one of the biggest complaints about, I think, legitimate complaints about our current forthcoming president is there's no desire to work with the other side.
There is
this guy actively punishes those that oppose him.
There is no sense of unification.
No.
When's that motherfucker going to come along? That's the guy we need, but it's like you don't get that. It doesn't seem like that's there on either side. So that's where I think
the most hilarious thing
kind of comes in.
The most hilarious thing that I've heard is not from Republicans complaining about Democrats. It's Democrats complaining about Democrats, saying we need to have a strong opposition party in this country, or you get, quasi-tyrannical retards like our current forthcoming president. And there isn't one. The Democrats run as Republican light, like beer.
Right.
Go ahead, Nick.
And they drink like it too.
If people could actually this is not a political debate, but if people can just compromise,
right,
in any sort of sense, there's some issues that more people might like, and there's other issues that might regard like the business side of things, Republican, that other people might like, and there is a way to compromise, but no one wants to talk to each other.
No, it is literally become do whatever you can to get our party in office, whatever the office may be. Which again, I'm not making my particular opinions known here, but I definitely in favor of having a strong opposition party because I don't want what we currently have, which is one party going only us, and that's all we're concerned with. And like I said, contemporaries of Reagan and contemporaries of the Clinton administration both have come out and said at least back then we could work with the other side. I want to say it started that way with the Clinton administration, and by the end of it, it became impossible. And then, George W. Bush kicked the "I won't work with the other side" into high gear.
Well, we've been so reliant on the two-party process.
Yes.
Like my mom, I'm just giving an example. My mom has always voted for the Green Party because that's she's always believed in, but no one ever makes it in the Green Party.
I voted 1 year for Ralph Nader, and I stand by third-party voting. I don't believe any vote's a wasted vote. I think your wasted vote is the one you don't cast, huh?
And I mean, every vote counts.
Yes. Yeah, I think the only wasted vote is the one you don't cast. However, hilariously, Ralph Nader didn't even make a blip. I mean, I felt good about myself. I went and got a Starbucks. It was a whole thing. But yeah, fuck what you heard. Getting back to the music, is probably lyrically the most poignant as body count gets. Most poignant on here. I really like this album a lot. Again, it didn't quite give me the giggles the way some of the previous ones have, but it was solid. It was thrashy. Ice-T hasn't fucking lost a step. I'm gonna do Mick last because Mick wants to complain about Comfortably Numb, and I want to give her her Khrushchev bang. I want to give her her Khrushchev bang and a Zhu moment. So, Robert,
I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Robert, what did you think of Merciless?
The whole time, every time you say Merciless, I'm just thinking of Moises Alou, the former baseball player for the Cubs. Anywho, I really did like this album. This is one of my favorite bands because the store I work at now is majority black, which is great, especially with a sense of humor like mine. It actually is because I get to say, once you go black, you never go back, right? And I usually get a hearty chuckle. Whereas when I said that in the white neighborhoods, they were just like,
Sorry, what was that last line again? Once you go what?
Once you go black, you never go back. The Seal's clapping because he knows. That's how he gets the bitches.
The Seal approves.
It's got the seal of approval.
Please tell Dorian I overused his clip tonight. He'll be so happy.
That is beautiful. But yeah, I love springing this on people because it's like we were talking about how majority of the listening community is probably not going to have the same lived experience as, I mean, frankly, people making the music.
The words I was thinking out of my mouth that I never got to. Because when she said, I wish we had a black guy on here to talk about this with, and I went, good luck finding one that listens to this music.
Yeah, it's very rare. I mean, and I have coworkers that like, they can like, I'll talk to them. They can dig it. It's just not really their thing. It's, right. And a lot of times I just think it's because it doesn't really speak to a lived experience that they've been through. It's the way, it's kind of why I hate country music. Same way. Because country music I feel like one of the main drawing points to it is that it can really speak to the person's life and it can relate to you in that way. None of that applies to me, frankly. So
I want to, real quick, Big and Rich's Why Does Everyone Want to Kick My Ass definitely speaks to my life.
Well, see, mine was Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy.
Sure it is.
But yeah, it is very interesting because a lot of times I do, especially when I get customers coming in with their I mean, I had one the other day with like, your NWA or something like that. I'm like, yeah, man, I love that shit. You ever listen to Body Count? They're like, what's that? I'm like, it's fucking Ice-T's metal band. And they're like, Ice-T has a metal band? Like every time.
I only know him from Law and Order.
Right?
Dun,
Dun, dun.
Dun-dun.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's very interesting because, like you were going to say, like it doesn't, the experience that it speaks to isn't something that you do find in the metal community, which is enriching, frankly, because you're not going to find many bands in this genre that speak to that. I mean, it's the same thing as if you had a rap album about fucking mystical mountains in Norway. You're not going to find much.
What's your favorite song off of here?
I really liked Merciless. I love the guest roster they have for this album too.
Yeah,
I'm really impressed.
Yeah. They've hung out with Max Cavalera on a couple of the other albums. Well, I know it was a couple albums back, I think. But yeah, the Corpse Grinder on The Purge, dude. And like I said in the chat, man, if that gets played at a concert and the sirens hit, the fucking the pit splits. The plit splits.
The clip splits.
No, wait a second.
The clip split.
If you split a clit, you've done something massively wrong.
Man, that was going to hit so much harder if I could have just said it right,
It's all right, Jesse. We've only been doing this for 100 years. You bumble fuck through stuff. It's fine.
It's classic. I think that comes up in the AI even. It says that's exactly what I do when I have it asked. That's exactly what it says. Anyway, so when the sirens hit, man, it's just going to be deadly because fucking people are going to be hitting the ground. But yeah, love the guest list. I agree, Coop.
I actually literally just had an interesting thought, because I do feel like in the past couple of years, the new metal sound, early 2000s, it's kind of come back around. I mean, with that, it's got more of a hip hop sound to it, which I know Body Count doesn't, but in terms of lyrical content, I can sometimes feel that it mixes more with what you'll find in some of your new metal. I wonder if we could see some sort of resurgence in the Body Count fandom.
We'll see. All right. Before I throw it over to Mick, I'll tell you, in the year of our Lord 2024, as fragmented as music has become because of the internet, I don't know if anything is going to get a lot of attention. Like, unless, I want to say it, and I've brought this up before, it's one of my favorite my nerdy moment of the night. One of my favorite nonfiction books I've ever read was The Long Tail. And it talked about how, as the internet became a thing and everything became fragmented and niche, nothing stands out anymore. It's like Taylor Swift and Beyonce and nothing. Everything has a fractional fan base, and it's very hard now to be seen. So, are we talking about it? Sure, but we're collectively 1,000 years old on this podcast, and Mick. So it's we know about it. We're talking about it. But I get people flipping through W2M, looking at videos that we've done. Wicked, okay, I want to hear him talk about that. Like, what the fuck is a body count? So, I think that speaks to, if we're just talking about metal, there's probably a handful of metal bands that most people will know about, and if you say it out loud, and then everything else is just niche. It's that long tail of fragmented fan bases. Mick, my love, what did you think of your first Body Count experience, Merciless?
Well, I actually have a comment about what you just said. You just said.
And then go into your thing.
So, with how the internet is today, there is no solid fandom. It's a bunch of individual people, which is beautiful in its own way, but it's you can't really detect what's going to be popular and what's not.
Mm-hmm.
Because, okay, so for the people who are listening, I was going to play a video after we talk about all this that I heard from TikTok a long time ago. And they based their fandom out of it, and it was Skindred. Nobody.
Skindred went off on TikTok?
Yeah. They had
Skindred.
They had a dance
Jesse, Big Tings. Big Tings come from Skindred. Big Tings.
I forgot about Big Tings.
I'm on this podcast with these three old guys, and occasionally one of them blurts something out from a previous show.
Call back.
Go ahead.
But no. So just the concept of a fandom is so secular and it's so blocked off almost to the fact of you don't know what's going to be popular. And I know I just said that, but like it depends on what's popular on social media at the time.
Oh yeah.
And it could be literally day by day or month by month.
And it's gone as fast as it appeared.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, how I felt about the album. So I said Merciless was my favorite. Because I admitted that nu metal is probably the most listened that I do. And I liked The Purge. Fuck What You Heard was also really good. But Comfortably
Purge is probably
Numb,
my second favorite.
I have to talk about Comfortably Numb because I am a Pink Floyd super fan.
God bless you.
And I even have a tattoo of the fornicating flowers from the wall.
Can I ask you to speak for everyone? Can I ask you to do an unfair thing and speak for everyone your age, especially girls?
Sure.
Is Pink Floyd a thing now among like 20-year-old girls?
No.
Okay, because you're at least the second or third girl in that age cohort that has told me Pink Floyd is your most favorite thing ever.
Really?
So I'm wondering if this is a trend. Yes.
She's the first I've met, brother.
Okay. Yeah, no, I've never met anybody else who likes Pink Floyd the way that, like.
Well, other than crazy bitches, maybe that's just what I attract. Go on.
Not fired.
Fans. But I felt like his cover of "Comfortably Numb."
I can't wait to hear this. I just
need a second cigarette.
Dude, she's doing like fucking flames on the side of my face.
Now, just before you get started here, I'm also a Pink Floyd fan. I mean, I'm not as probably dedicated as you are, but I know Comfortably Numb, and I, kind of was like really worried what this cover was going to be about or what it was going to be like, especially if Ice-T just stuck with the regular, stuck with the original lyrics. That I was going to have a problem with. But
go on.
No, I'm done. Go ahead.
Okay. This could have been a totally different song. They could have named it something entirely different. They could have just made it one of their slower songs in the album. It does not reflect Comfortably Numb at all. All they do is take the chorus, like 2 times. They take the chorus and put it on there, and that's cool. But even the musical aspect after that, like the melody of Comfortably Numb is kind of lost. So like they had no business saying that this was Comfortably Numb at all.
Well, Institutionalized would like to have words with you.
I was gonna
right.
say,
no, I get that. But I really want to hear what Jesse has to say about Comfortably Numb at this point, because I'm like, The Wall is my all-time favorite album. I got my first tattoo of it. I've been listening to it since I was 5 years old. I love it. And so, like, it might be a comfort thing that's like, you messed with something that I love and I hate it.
Oh yeah.
It might be that.
I get that. I do.
So if the defense of Ice-T may approach the bench, Your Honor.
Defense may come.
Go ahead.
Dun dun. Go ahead.
Not an unknown thing in music. There are people who have taken the structure of a song, the chorus of a song, the beat of a song, and kind of done their own spin with it. Ice-T didn't do anything new here. Ice-T also didn't do anything new for himself. This is not the first time he has borrowed part of a song and done his kind of own thing with it. Like almost every single album, he changes up lyrics to something. I mean, Jesse brought up Institutionalized. That's a really clear example of, him taking the idea of a song and messing with it his own way. But again, he's not the only one that's ever done this. Lots of bands have screwed around with other people's music and done weird stuff with it, changed lyrics, etc. Now, I'm not saying you're not allowed to not like it. I'm fine with that. You can, if you had gotten on here and literally started banging a shoe and started screaming about fuck Ice-T and how could you do this to Pink Floyd? It's a crime against music. I would have.
How dare you?
Yes, I would have laughed, but you would have had your say, and I would have said you're entitled to feel that way. my only like rebuttal to what your argument was except that he didn't do anything wrong. This is what this sort of thing happens all the time. And your reaction to it is also not particularly novel because people always kind of have that reaction to, wait, that isn't how the song goes, you crazy person.
So you didn't actually cover it. You just used 2 lines from it.
You just took the name and ran with it.
Right.
And not for nothing, but isn't that how rap was built? Is they took beats and licks from other people's stuff and then just rapped over it, which reminds me of a really funny karaoke story. So,
were you clothed?
Was I clothed? Yes, as a matter of fact. This was a quasi-vanilla event put on by non-vanilla people, and it was onesie karaoke. So, adult onesie karaoke.
Oh, yeah. So no.
A lot of them were doing like furry type onesie stuff. I don't do that sort of thing. I got a onesie jogging suit, which is really funny when you consider my body shape. And if you're interested, there are TikToks of me singing in my onesie. The Doors, actually, of me singing the Doors. I do a pretty mean Jim Morrison. Anyway, my point is, I think that night was maybe Light My Fire.
Okay.
Yeah. I do that. I do Light My Fire, do Break On Through, and People Are Strange. Those are my 3.
All right.
Anyway, I have done them both onesied and naked. Now that we got that out of the way, my point is there was another guy who did a karaoke performance, and he literally just asked the guy to play whatever song it was and did his own shit. He just started rapping and singing, and everyone's like, "That's not how that song goes." And it was the kind of karaoke where you can kind of hear the lyrics in the background, so it's like this really weird, like everyone just kind of like, "What the fuck's he doing?" And to my earlier point, this is old, a tale as old as time. People, I think even Clutch, Jesse. I want to say, God, what Clutch is it? Not Impetus, but I might have to look it up really quick. But there was a Clutch song where it's like they took an older song, kind of did their own thing with it, and they credited the original artist, but it is not that same song.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember it off the top of my head. No.
Now this is going to... Well, I allow Mick to respond to this. I'm going to now have to look that up. Your thoughts,
okay,
Matt?
so my final thought of the album was actually, like, besides that song, I really enjoyed this album. I think they did a really good job, and all the messages in the songs were powerful, and you could feel it within the lyrics. I mean, like I said before, nu metal is my thing. So, like, the contrast of, like, a little bit of rap kind of ish melodic lyrics, and then, like, you get into the heavy stuff, then that's satisfying to me. But yeah,
with Comfortably Numb, what is that song when Pink Floyd's version? What is that about?
So Comfortably Numb is Roger Waters, whenever he was in concert with, I'm going to go into the whole history of how the wall was made.
One break at a time, I hope.
Give me the Chat GPT version about Comfortably Numb.
The Chat GPT,
including the grammatical errors.
He was too hyped up on drugs.
Same.
And in order to get the concerts and the fame and everything to continue, he had to actually get up from his chair. But there was a point in life where he was so zoned out and didn't realize, like, what was happening, that it didn't actually matter. So if you've ever seen The Wall, the movie, after Comfortably Numb, you see excerpts of, like, you know, he's surrounded by guitars and, like, fans and whatever, and then eventually he self-mutilates and then falls into a pool. And so it's the tragic life of fame.
So
and drugs.
Obviously that, is different from what Ice-T is trying to say in his version. His version,
Right.
and I think
No,
is,
I get that.
does it make you feel any better that both Waters and Gilmore, said go for it, and gave him the blessing to do this? Because Ice-T came to him and said, I've got this idea. And Gilmore's like, yeah, I love it. Let
Did
me
he?
play. Yeah. And Gilmore's playing. You're hearing Gilmore in that song. Gilmore is playing guitar.
He's on the Spotify.
I didn't know that part of that.
Yeah.
That does make me feel better that he actually went to.
Yeah, he went to him and got their blessing, and Ice-T has a lot of reverence and respect for Pink Floyd.
Good.
But yeah, I the reason why I appreciated it is because he took it, made it his own thing, but he took Comfortably Numb and used that term to describe how the world is to some really horrible shit that's going on right now.
Oh yeah.
And that's why when I first was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be horrible, because I felt exactly like you did. Like he's touching on kind of a song that I really like. And if he's going to start singing, I'm going to have problems, because Ice-T and singing sometimes aren't.
I need to cut in there. Jesse, do you remember our conversation about The Winner Loses?
The Winner Loses. I do not remember. Tell me.
That's the one where he sings.
Oh no.
My friend's addicted.
me.
To cocaine.
This is off of the 92 album, right? Body Count. Yeah. I remember this now.
Dude, he tried to sing as you just heard me do. That's his best. My friend's addicted to cocaine. It was like he went to puberty and kicked a cat at the same time. It's like you don't want. Ice-T's a very talented man. I no shade, but that man can't sing a fucking lick.
Yeah, that's what I was really scared.
And if he had tried to, in defense of his deciding to not do Comfortably Numb the way it should be done, if he had tried to do Comfortably Numb, it would have sounded horrible.
That track would have been.
Let Ice-T be Ice-T. By the way, the song I was talking about, Jesse, was Immortal.
Oh.
I am immortal.
That's a different song?
So, here, I just want to read this to you real quick, and then we got to move on. The album, Mystic Fire is the 7th studio album by American rock band Mountain.
I love
the album.
Mountain.
Yeah, Mountain's good. The album includes Immortal, which was co-written and originally performed by Clutch. Immortal was originally released with different lyrics and a different arrangement as the song Baby I'm Down on Mountain, 1969. Leslie West's first solo album. Clutch covered the song on their 2001 album Pure Rock Fury, rearranging it and changing the lyrics. Their version has a guitar solo by Leslie West. Mountain then covered that version of the song on this album. Fucking musical inception right here.
Look at that.
So,
yeah.
Just kind of last words here. I'll go to you first, Mick. I sympathize with your opinion on Comfortably Numb, but that's my response to it. Anything else? Any other thoughts you have about the album, about what we've talked about? Any burning desires before we move on?
I mean, honestly, since I heard that Roger Waters signed off on it, I kind of slowly retract my statement.
Good enough for him. It's good enough for me.
Prosecution rests.
But not fully. I did like the lyrics that he implemented it, but I still stand by my statement when I say that it could have been his own song.
Sure.
He could have took the lyrics that he had and made it a slower song and then did it himself.
It is weird that he went Pink Floyd. I mean, we saw him do the Slayer cover. It's that stuff Body Count fits for, but Comfortably
Numb. Let me tell you, after this, the defense will rest. But in defense of Ice-T, recognizable IP is the only way people see you now.
Oh wow!
And every time Ice-T comes out and does stuff, or anyone else comes out and does stuff, let's go back in the Wayback Machine. How far back, Jesse?
Way back.
To the mid to late 90s, a little band called Limp Bizkit. These musical geniuses. Why does everyone
Starfish
in the hot dog flavored water? Gimmicks are fun, but why did Limp Bizkit get any notoriety? Why do people know who Limp Bizkit is all these years later? Because I guess it would be nice if I could touch your body. Gotta have faith, Mick. You gotta have faith.
Behind Blue Eyes.
God, that was horrible.
Yeah.
That too. There you go. Covers is how you get seen. People recognize your song and go, oh shit, there it is. So if you're Ice-T and you're like, I gotta put a song on, especially if you're talking to a label person. All right, Ice-T, how are you gonna break through the long tail? How are you gonna reach the TikTok generation? I don't know. I heard young white girls still like Pink Floyd. And here we go, comfortably numb. Robert, your final cat-free, toilet-free thoughts in 50 words or less.
What are you trying to say?
Oh my God.
I live for the cat.
It's Dave. I mean,
Don't encourage him.
People like Dave more than they like me usually. Let's be honest.
If you see me smiling like an idiot, it's because his cat's on the screen.
Yeah, I mean,
smiling like you're high.
But yeah, I mean, this is. I was gonna say this is just kind of another interesting album from Body Count. I mean, I felt it was a very good album, frankly, but also it's still fun that the man can still bring so much discourse after so many years. And again, you'd think that someone, somebody that's been kind of away from a lot of the sort of problems of modern society for the past 30 years wouldn't be so poignant. But then again, it's almost like nothing has changed in the last 30 years.
God, you're married to a woman like Coco with boobs the size of, small mountains. What are you so mad about, Ice-T?
I mean, you saw he was on a reality show with her, so like I'd be angry too.
I didn't watch it. Jesse,
I mean, I didn't either.
Oh, what reality show?
Ice-T and Coco.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Jesse for a second. I'm sorry, I blanked.
Starcher
was the most boring reality show ever.
I would watch Jesse's reality show as he goes running up the stairs going, yes, indeed, I smell that pizza. The fuck?
All I care
poop
about
today, poop today.
Is what I care about.
Jesse in his top hat and cane. Gear shade, poop today, poop today. Go back down and work, Jesse.
Oh man,
Jesse, take me home, baby doll.
What's the ratings on that? 1 million? No, one viewer, one person. Yeah. Hey, I'm glad we got to talk about Body Count again. I'm so glad, and I can't wait to do it in a couple years. I'm sure he'll be coming back. Well, Ernie C's got more in him. Ice-T's got more in him. I can't wait to see what's next.
So, real quick, and then we'll go over to Rob's video. Chart performance from Merciless, 22 in the Austrian chart, peak position. In Belgium, where the waffles are from, 122. Germany, 12. And the Hungarian physical albums, I like that they had to make that distinction, 28. And the UK rock and metal albums, it peaked at 27. So there you go. Merciless, everybody. Robert Cooper, tell us about this video.
Didn't I mention the band that decided to make all their songs about Dale Earnhardt?
I remember.
Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. Why don't you tell us about it so I can play this video?
Good. Okay. This band, what they've done is they took the last day of Dale Earnhardt's life and turned him into a fantasy adventure. Yeah, it's called I Am the Intimidator.
This is why people don't listen to metal, by the way.
Oh yeah. Well, and considering I'm from bumfuck nowhere, North Carolina, right where all the NASCAR is, got a little soft spot for some of it, even if I couldn't give 3 fucks about NASCAR itself.
All right. Anything else about this video before we hit play?
It tickles me because it's very much, as you'll see, it is. I think this is all the same guy. I think that's why they're wearing helmets. I'm pretty sure all 4 members of the band are him. But I mean, it's just goofy shit with NASCAR in the background. What more can you love?
All righty, that's why we do this, folks. Here it is. I Am the Intimidator. Eat my smoke.
What's really interesting about this album as well is that there's a lot of different sounds that come from this, because this starts out almost like a sludgy sort of doomy sound.
Rock. Yeah, this has like a very stoner doomy sound to it.
Yeah, but then the lyrics, like the vocals, there's a little bit of growling, but it's mostly like your sort of 80s high pitch, like power metal.
Why is he carrying a broadsword around?
Because he's going to have to slay all the bad guys. Because he's Dale fucking Earnhardt.
Metal
You
is
gotta
stupid.
slash them tires.
Metal is stupid and weird.
It is.
That's what I love about it. Like, I love the fact that this exists. Yeah, there's a song on the album called Gasoline. It was my number 4 because it tickles the shit out of me.
I need to show my dad this video so bad.
So that's the second TikTok you have to make. One is your reaction to Evil Dick, and two, the other TikTok you have to make is your dad's reaction to this.
Yes. He watches NASCAR like unironically.
Yeah, I know those people.
We have Daytona here in Florida, as you may know, and I've been to Daytona a couple of times, but never for a race. Like, I was there for Rockville this past May. Back when my ex-wife and I used to get along, I took her to Jimmy Hart's bar that was part of a hotel in Daytona. One of my finest husband achievements. But I actually want to see at least one race in my lifetime at the Daytona Speedway.
Yeah, I've
the
never
only
been to
racer, like the name I remember is Jimmy Johnson.
You don't know Dick Trickle?
The
Dick
Lowe's guy.
Yes,
Yeah.
Jimmy. Oh, Jimmy. The Lowe's guy.
That's the only guy I remember.
Jeff
That's it.
Gordon.
No, it's like Jimmy Johnson. Or like it was JJ.
Yeah.
Isn't there
I love
isn't there some like hot chick that does this? Danica Patrick?
Yeah. She does commercials now.
Oh, yeah, because she's marketable.
GoDaddy.com.
Jesse, you're from like Appalachian shit. You like the NASCAR?
Yes. I don't watch it. I can tell you that I've never been to a NASCAR race.
Jesse,
However,
you've never been outside of your house.
Fair point. I've watched plenty of sprint car races and some late models. Went to the races all the time at a couple tracks around here. My dad was big into NASCAR.
What's he really?
Yeah, he was big into NASCAR. I got him a subscription. I was just thinking about this today. I got him a subscription to some kind of like NASCAR.com thing where you could just like tune in and listen to the radios of the pit crews on any of the teams you wanted to. You could listen to them talking, and then you could also listen to the race being called, which was pretty cool.
I should have got that from my dad.
I think it was like, I don't know, $30. It was pretty cheap.
I bought my dad a keychain that said NASCAR.
Just said NASCAR.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I've never watched a NASCAR race in my fucking life, but I do love car race movies, man. Ford versus Ferrari. One of the rare times Robert and I both liked the movie.
Yeah.
Wait, y'all like movies?
No.
Okay.
We hate everything. But we like
Ford
versus Ferrari. There's an F1 movie coming out next year.
Yeah, it looked actually pretty good, pretty interesting. I haven't known.
F1.
Yeah, Formula One racing. Like me saying that explains what it is.
The best car racing movie is Daytona Nights.
That's good.
Talladega Nights, sorry.
Talladega Nights?
Talladega Nights, yeah. And they
Ricky Bobby.
I think you screwed up the title. It's Days of Thunder.
Days of Thunder, there you go.
I've never seen Days of Thunder.
Neither have I, but as an old man, I feel like I needed to come out for Tom Cruise.
That's the irony is that he's moving in a way in this movie. It's just he's trying to get away.
I understood every word he said.
Does anyone have a heart to tell him every time he moves? I can't hear his fucking mic.
I didn't. I just
Oh, God,
nod my head. I nod my
I didn't
head.
know
What did
that.
you say?
Like you're. Go ahead.
I said that. I said it's another Tom Cruise movie where he runs, except this time the car is doing all the work.
You can't catch me, gay thoughts. Speaking of gay thoughts, Jesse, Christmas game, hit it.
Oh, is it time?
It's time, baby.
It is time. Oh my goodness.
Vader's time.
I have to make you like entrance music now. I got to get like Motorhead's time to play the game. Like Jesse's AI game.
This is going to be fun because tonight what we're going to do, I've got images just like I had last time, but the way this is going to work is I'm going to tell you the band. Actually, let's do it this way. I want to set it up here.
Okay.
So
Great.
prior to the show, I was able to talk to ChatGPT, and I said, okay, we need a good idea for some fun tonight. We got a game. I want to take my metal podcast that we're doing here, and we got to input some Christmas into it and come up with a good game here. So what it did was, it was like, okay, I got a great idea. Here's some band names, and we're going to turn them into some type of Christmas theme. And I was like, okay, that sounds cool. How about we'll take the Christmas theme name that you came up with, and we will then have you create an image. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys the image, provided everything works right here. I'm going to show you guys the image, and then you guys are going to guess what the AI came up with as far as the fun name. I'll tell you the band.
I hope it's another spaghetti robot.
The food apocalypse.
All right.
Yes.
The food apocalypse. Yes, that was great. All right, I'm going to present my screen here real quick. And
I'm still reigning champ, though.
You are. So proud of you, Mick.
So I will tell you the band, and you guys have to come up with. Go ahead.
So real quick, I tell you how I don't get just earworms from music. I get weird earworms of stuff said on podcasts, like things that I've said, things that other people have said, and I'll just randomly blurt it out while I'm at work or something. Me kind of quizzically looking at you, going, "How many has she had tonight?" And you going, "Oh, I only had 2." And you took a pause, and you're like, "Are you proud of me?" I have that stuck in my fucking head.
Well, tonight is not the night to be proud of me.
Tonight is not the night. All right,
I wonder what this is.
Yeah, you guys aren't going to have to guess here, but you can see the concept of what I came up with here. We got Slayer.
Yeah.
So there you go. Not too tough.
You know what that reminds me of?
So,
the actual Slayer comic that we did. Not the Slayer comic,
that's the first thing I thought of.
The Christmas Slayer comic.
Yeah, it's funny. We got a distinct between both of those because we did cover a Slayer comic.
The Vampire Slayer comic?
What?
Oh, fuck me. I said the Buffy the Vampire Slayer comic.
Not that one. Sir. No, it was not that one. We did not cover that one. All right, guys. Here we go.
That's fucking metal.
That's dope as fuck.
Is that Deicide's Christmas album?
This is okay. So all I did was I told ChatGPT to come up with a picture based off of the name. So the original band is Iron Maiden. Nice. What is the Christmas concept that ChatGPT came up with?
Iron Manger.
So there it is. The Iron Manger, and it's probably written right at the top there, isn't it? Don't look there anymore.
Well, I didn't look there, but I didn't cheat. I swear to God, I saw the picture.
All right, I don't think you can even see it anyway.
I don't understand the rules of this game.
Don't cheat.
Okay.
All right. This
you're gonna tell me the band, and then I have to guess the song that they or how. I don't understand.
You have to guess
I was still trying to figure out how this works. Mark rolled.
All right. So back here.
Yes.
She came up with Iron Manger. There is a manger here, and that, like I said, it's Iron Maiden.
Okay.
So the next band
took a band name, made it Christmassy, and created an image.
You got it. There you go.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, I had a horrible job explaining that. Here's the next one. All right. So this is Anthrax.
Oh.
So, I actually have an idea of a real band, a Nuclear Santa Claus.
I was going to say, this is like Nuclear Assault. The Sound of White Christmas?
No. Again, it's got to sound like Anthrax. First one was Iron Maiden, Iron Manger. This is Anthrax.
Santa-thrax?
Close. Very close.
Very close.
You're there. Huh?
Is it Santhrax?
Santhrax. It is Santhrax.
Oh, God.
There we go.
Now Mark gets the assist on that one. It's like hockey.
Are you going to tell us the band every time?
I want to tell you the band. You guys got to figure out the name of what ChatGPT came up with to
Vic,
Christmas
don't make this harder on me. I'm already getting an aneurysm.
So the band is Megadeth. What is this?
Santa Death?
Merry Death.
Mary Death.
You're good at
Mary
this.
Death.
I'm jealous.
Really?
I was thinking of Christmas shit.
Oh, yeah, no, I was stumped.
All right. This one was, the band here is Rammstein.
Rainstein.
Close. So close.
Rain.
You're on the right.
You said rain?
Oh, Romstag.
No.
Damn it.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Rammstein. It doesn't have a red nose, though.
Rammstein.
Rammstein.
Mark almost had it. He almost had it.
What'd you say, Mark?
I don't know. I'm still laughing at Rudolph the Red-Nosed Rammstein.
Mark said Rainstein.
Rain Stag?
Rain.
Stag?
No.
Reindeer?
Is it
What'd
Rain
you say,
Stag?
Coop? What'd you
I
say,
just put
Coop?
reindeer.
Reindeer.
Reindeer Holocaust is where I'm leaning now.
Rain lights, rain Christmas, rain beer, reindeer, rain
Reindeer.
stag.
Reindeer. The band was called Reindeer Stein. There you go. It was Rammstein. It's Reindeer
Oh,
Stein.
wow.
All right.
Oh, that wasn't fair at all. I can't do that.
This is my absolute favorite.
You can see yourself on camera, and you know what you just look like when you did that, right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, perfect. Good job.
This is why I'm here.
Yeah. Good girl.
This is my absolute favorite. This is Lamb of God.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot.
Lamb
it's a tough
candy
one.
Canes?
Nope.
Lamb of God is already religious.
True.
As someone told me in the streets of Miami one day, as I was wearing my Lamb of God shirt.
I remember that story.
Yeah.
All right, so pay attention to what the lamb is standing in.
Piss?
No.
Oh, sorry, it's not Florida.
Lamb of eggnog?
Close. Oh my gosh, so close.
Lamb of Nog.
Lamb of Nog.
Oh, that's
I swear
eggnog?
to God. I swear I deserve a half point.
That's too many points to keep
I
up
get
with.
one finally, and you want to take it from me.
Wait, you skipped one.
All right.
The next one, the next, I'll go back to the previous one because that's actually a little bonus thing we have at the end here. But this is Cradle of Filth.
Yeah.
Let's see. Cradle of Mirth?
Nope.
Damn, that was
That's a good
good.
one.
Cradle
too
of
much.
Rice.
Cradle of Filth. I'll tell you the last word.
Cradle of Frost?
There it is.
God damn it.
Good
There
job.
it is.
Good
Give us a little
job. Good
shake.
job.
Wait a minute, Mark. I'm the one that's supposed to be awkward here.
I'm not being awkward. I'm straight
I'm
up being
just good.
creepy.
Fun game, guys. This right here is our, well, let's try this again. So all of our podcasts that we've done prior to this for this year, I threw them all into Notebook LM and I said, give me a prompt for an image that depicts what we've covered.
Is
And
this Ailstorm?
Say it again.
Ailstorm?
Yes, this is everything. I don't know if this is everything that we've covered this year. So Ailstorm's involved.
Ailstorm,
I see
Ministry,
Motley
Motley
Crue.
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 Oh shit.
I'll read to you.
A bunch of AI? Is that what I'm seeing too?
Boy, there was a lot of that this year.
You're just gonna see my eyes for a minute. Hold on.
I'll read to you the explanation that the AI gave me. And there's one thing in here that I think we are missing that really could have set this off, because even though it was in the description, it still did not show up. Well, crap. It mentioned Coop's cat. It mentioned Dave, and it did not show up in. It did not show up in here. At least there's something about a pot pie floating in the sea. I have no idea what that's referencing this past year.
You don't know what that is, dude.
I mean, that pirate could be Davy Jones.
No, shut up. Jesse.
What were we talking about?
You better not touch your wife's pot pie. No.
Good point.
I'm very particular about my pot pie.
Very good point. I don't know what I was thinking.
What is the actual line again that my son then blurted out in Walmart and I had to tell you about it? I'm awfully particular about my pot pie. Shit.
Yeah. Yes, that's it. That is it right there.
I'm awfully This motherfucker did an entire album of AI songs about food he eats in the house.
That's right.
And one of them was about how he cut the crust off his wife's pot pie and she almost fucking divorced him.
I prefer pot pie soup.
There you go.
What the fuck is a pot pie soup?
Oh, easy.
It's all the best things about a pot pie, but you don't have to worry about the crust.
I just had a chicken pot pie soup at McAllister's. Delicious.
What?
I highly recommend it.
But my favorite part of the pot pie is the pie.
What?
My favorite part of the pot pie is the pie.
Well, that's your prerogative.
If you have a McAllister's near you and you want soup for the sandwich, I highly recommend the chicken pot pie soup.
I prefer if you get the like chunky brand of the Campbell's chunky chicken pot pie. Mm-hmm. That shit's good.
You're not wrong. I am 100% with you. But you go back to Jesse, who's like, "What happened to me?"
Well, I was going to read the prompt here. I just want you guys to hear what it said. So,
by the way, that pot pie looks like a fucking brain. It doesn't look like a pot pie.
It does. It looks like monkey bread.
Yeah.
Have y'all ever made monkey bread?
My ex-mother-in-law makes it every Christmas.
A chaotic and vibrant scene depicting a pirate ship sailing through a swirling black gaze nebula with a massive Metal Gear hovering overhead. The ship's mast is adorned with a Motley Crue logo, which is sort of is there. That's half erased, and the sails are ripped and stitched with the Slipknot Tribal S, which I don't think that's on here.
What?
No, I don't see it. Not yet.
Yeah, A figure resembling a cyborg is at the helm with one hand on the wheel and the other holding a glowing smartphone, seemingly prompting something into it. On the deck of the ship, various characters are engaged in absurd activities. A host wearing an Unleash the Archer shirt is passionately arguing with a robot about the merits of AI music generation.
That was that episode too. Wow.
That was the whole fucking year, man.
A person in a ministry t-shirt is headbanging while another host is trying to interview a cat. There are also some shadowy figures in the background representing the wrestling world. Around the ship, floating debris includes a half-eaten pot pie. That doesn't look half-eaten. A black metal album cover with shoegaze elements and a distorted imagery of the angry metal guy giving a thumbs down.
but Jesse, what does the angry metal guy think of all this?
All in a style that blends new metal aesthetics with vibrant colors and bizarre elements of the 1980s. The overall style should be a blend of cyberpunk, metal album art, internet meme culture with a slightly humorous and irreverent tone. It says the pirate ship represents Ailstorm. Black Gaze Nebula symbolizes the Alcest Review.
I love it.
Metal Gear, which I don't know. You guys are going to have to help me there. I don't know what they're talking about.
Let me cut in real quick. So here's what we did from January until last month. January 9th was the 2023 year in review. March 11th was Ministry Hopium for the Masses. April 10th was Ailstorm Voyage of the Dead Marauder. May 14th was Unleash the Archers Phantoma. I don't think this one's in here because this didn't make it to YouTube. I had all kinds of
Bon Jovi.
Bon Jovi forever.
Fucking Bon Jovi. Look at his horse cock.
his horse cock full of semen. August 22nd was Alcest, La Chance de Aurora. October 27th was Motley Crue canceled, and then November 14th was Slipknot.
Good enough.
I
So
mean,
there you go.
The gear. What was it? Gear. There was a name with gear in it.
Metal Gear.
It said something about. It said Metal Gear represents the industrial sounds of bands like Ministry and the overall metal theme. So that's probably what we're talking about right here.
I think that's what you just pointed at is.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I got you. So, yeah, there was, and then all the other stuff we kind of already talked about. So, anyway, that was a lot of fun. Like I said, I threw all of our podcasts in there and looked at the transcripts from YouTube, and I even threw the Bon Jovi one in there, but it did not make a reference to it. But man, this thing is like packed full of like little crap on the ship that just it's like there's a lot happening in this freaking.
My favorite thing about this is the random pot pie in the middle.
All right, that was fun.
That is one of my favorite shows that we've done. Is me and you reviewing your Time to Eat album.
I was having way too much fun.
Where you were just like, yes, indeed, I smell that pizza, and I just wanted to be not in my life anymore. I wanted to live in your home, in the warmth of your home.
I know I'm new to Metal Hammer Doom, but I'm excited to see this next year when I get on all of them.
Just wait till we get to the plugs. We can talk all about that.
I'm so happy.
All right. Well, Mick, it's your turn now to tell us about this album. About this next video. Let me preface this by saying this is not the first time we've heard this. There's been the Metal Hammer of Doom Christmas is a staple of the Radulich Broadcasting Network. In the years past, we've done Heavy Saurus, or we did Heavy Saurus. Robert did his own fucking thing that night.
No, I listened to the wrong Heavy Saurus album because it's not in fucking English, and I didn't know better.
It was the one that's at Christmas, you nit.
I just downloaded the first one I found.
Fucking amateurs I deal with here, Mick. Amateurs.
I haven't been paid yet.
At least I get a pass. I'm new.
That's right. Yes,
yeah, what do you do?
Yes, Mick, you haven't failed me yet. So. Yet. So we've done Heavy Saurus one year. I know for New Year's we did Weird Al one year, but we did. Jesse, help me. What other Christmas shit did we do? I know one year was like a bunch of random hoo-ha.
Yeah, I was going to say we threw. I swear that you wanted to play a lot from your family's playlists at one point.
Oh yeah, one of these years I opened up with Dominic the Donkey.
Yes.
No, I love it.
I love that song.
Yes, it's my favorite Christmas song. I haven't listened to it much this year, but for a variety of reasons. What do you mean why?
Why?
I don't. Do we have enough time for the? I don't know if we have enough time for this therapy session.
Yeah, we're trying to get out of this show. But we did Tarja last year. God, that was fun. That was
my gosh,
a funny and depressing show.
With the fucking hand movements, Scott.
Stop looking at your hands. You know what? I'm gonna have to go back and look. But we've done something Christmassy for many years on the Metal Hammer of Doom. Someone's Christmas album or other. And I think at least one year we were doing Metal Hammer of Doom extras because I don't remember if I ever saw the video for this, but we definitely played this next song on one of those shows. But we said the rule here was we have to go back and revisit some of these. And one of these shows one day, I got to show Mick the Heaven Shall Burn video from Africa that made Jesse and I fucking pass out.
Oh my gosh.
And we have to show her Metal Church and fucking Sir Mix-a-Lot in the Sparks Factory.
It's like the
oh my goodness.
The top 5.
November Rain. Someone left my cake out in the rain. When you've been doing this as long as Jesse and I did, and to a lesser extent Robert, because he wasn't on a lot of the extras, there's so many videos that we watch where Jesse and I at the end of them would just fucking cry and laugh, and I would love to replay those on here, and we said that we would. So it is perfectly okay that we're going to replay this next one. And why don't you tell us what it is, Mick?
So I just want to say, because I've said on this channel before, or the Metal Hammer of Doom before, that I grew up with metal, right? So in comparison, when I grew up with Christmas music was like Twisted Sister Christmas album and the Heavy Metal Christmas album, which was a conglomerate of a bunch of different people. I also listened to what's his name? Christopher Lee.
Mm-hmm.
I love metal albums.
Yeah, that one
his
made
metal
one
albums
of
were fucking awesome. But no, and so I had a different song in mind for this podcast because I was like, well, this Body Count album reminds me of this song. And then I was like, wait, it's Christmas. And so I thought I was cheating by picking this song, but I really like it. So
a couple of months ago, Robert Cooper picked a fucking Mr. T song because it was Mother's Day. You're fine.
Oh, there you go.
Because there is no other like
Merry
Mother.
Christmas to all, and to all good night.
All right, before we play this, so real quick, because I had to pull up my calendar. So the year that we just did it, like a bunch of different metal Christmas songs, including Christopher Lee, was "We Wish You a Metal Christmas."
Yes, that's it. That's it.
We've also done Tarja from the Spirits and Ghosts score for Dark Christmas. So
Tarja Bomb.
Oh, Tarja Bomb. Yes, that's where we came up with that. Majestica, A Christmas Carol. We did one year. Let's see. If we did any. Jesse, remember A Very Poppy Christmas?
Oh, yes. Yes, indeed. That new album, by the way, that dropped, not bad.
I was like, did we miss a Poppy album this year?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Poppy.
Yeah.
You asked, was Poppy the artist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't mean to talk over Coop, though. What did you say?
Right.
Go Coop.
No, I was just saying, I can't believe we missed a Poppy album. I thought we've reviewed like all of them.
No, but there is a Lordy album coming out next year, and I am debating.
Oh,
I am debating putting Lordy on the schedule.
Oh,
It
The
belongs,
Hammer of
sir.
Doom.
It belongs.
Review is Lord.
Here's the thing. We did almost the entire Lordy-versity to the point where by the end of it, we were fucking done with Lordy as a band.
it was like, what, 7 albums of Lordy, and by the end we were like, God damn it, I'm tired of this.
Yeah, we were like, we're tired of it.
We're tired of it.
I'll probably throw it on there because Lordy is such great fun, and I think it's long enough now that we've kind of gotten over the trauma of like 8 Lordy reviews in a row. One of which didn't make air because I had a power hit.
Oh, shit.
Oh, that's right.
Remember that, Jesse? We were fucking right at the end of the review. Like, we were in plugs, and I fucking lost power and lost the entire review.
Lost the episode. Yeah. I remember that. Damn.
I think after that, I like called you screaming, we have to start making backups, which we never did. But
Who needs that?
who fucking needs backups? All right, here we go. Here's N.O.E.L, Psychostick. This is a System of a Down B.Y.O.B, which I love that song.
I love that song.
Yeah. It's Christmas.
Interesting. I was thinking Yule myself.
I have a funny story about Psychostick. So when they did the Rammstein, like, parody of a Christmas song,
Yeah.
I thought it was actually Rammstein doing it. I was like 10 years old, and I was like, oh my god, they made a Christmas song. It was not them.
This is with those movie maker levels in some parts, and I appreciate that.
We are related.
Lies from the green light. Oh, yeah.
Shake that tushy, baby.
Psychostick's hilarious.
Right?
They're funny.
I've never listened to Psychostick.
Yeah, there's like
I've listened to a couple of them. I remember like looking for Christmas music to play on the Metal Hammer of Doom. I found this, and then I went on a Psychostick deep dive.
I was just like, man, if I pick this song, I'm cheating because like they had to have done this before. But then I was like, it's Christmas, so.
Yeah.
Nah, we're
that was
flexible.
me last week with the lights. Oh my gosh.
Oh, talk about that, Jesse.
Talk about the lights and sitting outside in one spot for about an hour trying to untangle them.
Yes.
I'd rather not.
Please tell us in agonizing detail.
Well,
In vascular detail.
there are way less lights outside this year, and that's why.
Jesse, have you heard of the 12 Pains of Christmas?
Yes, I have, as a matter of fact.
Stringing up the lights.
That is, oh my gosh, that's a Dr. Demento special from back in the day. Like, I remember listening to that shit in the 80s.
I've never heard of it.
Oh, it's a classic.
I will tell you this: anything that we did in the audio-only years, I don't mind doing again. That'll never be cheating because again, we only did the audio. So the whole element here to watch the video.
So, does that mean you get to fall asleep during the Typo Negative review this time?
Yes. I'm actually going to do the Metal Hammer Doom Jukebox asleep the whole time.
Are we? We're going to re-record the entire past 9 years.
Ooh. Coop, Black Friday retail. How was it, bud?
I mean, it was kind of slow for me. I was a dipshit, though, and went to the mall area to pick up a game.
Okay.
And that was probably one of the worst decisions I've ever made in my life, including dating Megan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, wow, I know. Yeah, because that thing was packed. That thing was it was bad. It was really bad.
Nope.
I don't understand why people do it. And I felt so bad for the people in the GameStop too. I was like, "Oh, so is your first time?" They're like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh, I hope they were gentle." They weren't.
Yeah.
Because yeah, for me, like at Lowe's, to be honest, it over the years it's gotten less and less because now they make every company makes Black Friday a month, like and a lot more of it's online. So in terms of a brick and mortar store, there's a lot less importance put on it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, there's less fear of missing out usually towards that end of the year, which is disappointing because me and the boys, we loved watching Black Friday brawls. That was like a tradition for us. So now we went through all the Waffle House brawls, which the best brawl we ever found, by the way, was in a bouncy house. Like it was like a trampoline park or some shit. And it was like 15 minutes of people throwing down because it was a massive building. I was like, this is some trash behavior, and I love it.
I got into some perverted shit on Black Friday, and I don't remember what it was, and it's not on my calendar, which is
What's
weird.
his name?
Oh man.
What did you do?
It was a Black Ops thing.
Or who?
No evidence.
What did you do?
I put all my perversions on my calendar, and I'm trying to remember, like, what the fuck did I do on Black Friday?
What color code is that? What Google Calendar color
pink.
code is?
I was going to say, I hope it's pink. It's
All right.
the pink.
So hang on. I got to show Mick something. So Mick, are you the type of gal that's like turned on by type A organization or turned off by type A organization?
I appreciate it, but I am not type A. I am very much type B.
Okay. So
Same.
Let me go ahead and show you. Now, again, I'm going to show this to you, and if depending on what kind of girl you are, you're either going to be like, ugh, and there's going to be a puddle in your chair, or you're going to go, ugh, and you're going to jump into the air like a cat and try to run away. There's only 2 reactions to this, and those are it. You ready?
Okay.
What the fuck?
That's my fucking calendar. Hang on, that's November.
I appreciate it,
I'll go to January.
but I don't understand it.
That is, I mean, I appreciate the fact that you have things lined up and you always have something in the barrel, but brother, that's a lot of plan. That's way more planning than my my nomadic life allows.
So,
do you know how many times I asked Dorian what we're doing tomorrow?
Same thing we do every night. Same thing we do tonight.
Over the world.
Okay. So the default event color is orange. My bills are blue. My appointments are green. My family calendar, family constitutes things I do with my children, is brown. Holidays, I guess, are because Google updated this and changed the color, is that like lavenderish color. What do I got here? Work is like a light purple. My social calendar, where all my perversions take place, that's pink. That has been pink for quite a number of years. The
because you get the pink, right?
Yeah, huh? The
baby
podcast
girl with Erica.
Oh, hey, let's not be reading that out loud.
You're the one screen sharing.
It's fine. The podcast calendar is red, and then it's stuff I want to watch. That's boxing, MMA, or wrestling. Is this like weird tangerine-ish color? And then I created a new calendar, Jesse. I created a new calendar. Yes, dinner.
Why?
Because I'm a single parent, and I have to now like what did I say to Erica last night? I have to reallocate brain energy to now figuring out what materials and on what days I'm going to cook dinner for myself and my children. Because I used
That's kind of
to
sweet.
have a person for that, and I don't anymore. So I have to now
need a reminder on your phone.
I have to now plan dinners on what days I'm going to do them and what I'm cooking and make sure I have the ingredients for it. So to help with the mental load of that, I created a calendar.
Whew. We should organize.
This is why this is why over the years of doing Metal Hammer, of doing Radulich Broadcasting Network, when people are like, when are we doing this podcast again? I ripped out my hair because I was like, I organize. Why am I organized? I can remember all this shit and nobody else can, even with the incessant reminders.
Dude, I just ask you because you're in a different time zone than I am.
No, you're fine and you're new. I'm talking about these old heads, these fucking old heads who still don't fucking remember when we're doing anything, despite the reminders and the emails. Jesse learned a long time ago to turn off the email alerts from me because he's on all my calendars, and I will just be at work and bored and just fucking play with my calendar, and then Jesse gets a deluge of emails.
I would share my Gmail just to show you how many emails I get, but you can imagine it. I won't do that.
Yeah.
Mark, I am so type B. I need the reminder.
That's fine.
Yeah, I'm very much the same way. Like, the funny thing is I start getting reminded we have a podcast because the podcast chatter is far more active. So I'm like, all right, we must have a podcast coming up soon.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, because in the group chat we're just like talking
otherwise, like, it's kind of quiet.
Yep. That's when I start pop. Then that's when Pop Radulich shows up. It's like, hey assholes, I need videos. Let's go. All right. Speaking of assholes,
Pop Radulich, is that what they call you at the sex club?
Among other things. All right. Speaking of what I get called at sex clubs, wrong thing. Okay. Well, that's not right either. Next month on the Metal Hammer of Doom Jukebox. I can't spell. So Mick came to me and she says, Mark, she calls me Mark. She says, Mark, what if we do in January, we do an episode about GWAR? GWAR. So
because I'm pretty and I can do whatever I want.
She knows the way to my heart, ladies and gentlemen. So she asked, and I said, sure. January is usually like a slow month anyway. Albums haven't really started coming out yet, or anything I care about. And that's usually when we do like best ofs or years in review, stuff like that. So I figured we haven't done one of those, not in years. And I figured, okay, like we can go back and look at GWAR's whole history. And if that's something you're passionate about, let's talk about it. My favorite GWAR song is Fuck This Place. I can't wait to play that song on here.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
I also like, keep going. I can't remember the song.
Jesse and I, in one of our recording sessions for comics, did an entire GWAR comic.
Oh.
That was the best one.
Yeah. I watched the documentary at the same time when we did the comic, and man, I grew a great appreciation for GWAR because I didn't know. As you can tell, as sheltered as I am, I was scared of GWAR when I was a kid.
Slaughterama was what I was thinking of, and it makes me sad that they don't do that for concerts, but like, it makes sense.
I was this many years old when I saw GWAR for the first time. It was, I think, October of 2022. I had never seen GWAR before, and I went to go see them with Necrogoblicon, Crowbot.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a good tour. They've come around a bunch since then, but I haven't seen them since. So yeah, so Mick is gonna lead the Metal Hammer of Doom Jukebox and yet another band discussion. This time GWAR in all of its glory. But Jesse, all is not bleak in the Metal Hammer of Doom Jukebox. I haven't forgotten about you, my love. March 13th. Guess what we're doing on the Metal Hammer of Doom Jukebox?
Tell me,
Jesse. It's your hall pass. It's your obsession. It's your love.
Oh my goodness! I just turned the page of the calendar. Look at that. Hey, I think Coop might have a thing too, but please tell us.
Yes, it's Lacuna Coil, Sleepless Empire.
Ooh, that'll be a good one.
I'm excited to hear it.
Yeah, Jesse likes him some Italian broads. So yeah, we're gonna do. I picked that one especially for you, Jesse, because
I love it.
I think we went an entire year. You didn't pick shit this year. Jesse just showed up.
I'm having a good time. That's all.
So I was like, we got to do one for Jesse, since Robert will eventually make me listen to some French doom metal shit sung by a cat.
And you liked it.
So and Mick is now not shy about asking me for favors. So I got to make sure Jesse gets his shit in. All right, so that's what we got coming up here in the new year. This past Monday, I yelled at Robert and he yelled at me, but it must have been a day that ends in Y. But we also reviewed a movie. We reviewed Kraven the Hunter, and we were joined by who the fuck came on that show? Dorian
in the car.
That's right, Dorian in his taxi cab confession gimmick.
He's about to come in right now. Hold on.
Okay, so could you take 10 seconds? Could you explain to me why you were like chauffeuring him around during that podcast?
Okay, so I had rehearsal.
Mm-hmm.
And that ran up until the podcast started.
Mm-hmm.
So he started the podcast right after I went off of rehearsal.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was in the car, and then we went to my house because I needed to grab stuff for the concert the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went home. So that whole review was in the car.
Not the first time that a podcast has been done in the car. Coop can.
Oh yeah.
That. I was going to say.
Gavin
I'm the pro with that.
Oh no, you ain't got Gavin beat, who fucking did his in the Taco Bell fucking drive-through because it had the best Wi-Fi. Because it had the best Wi-Fi in coal miners' asshole, Virginia.
Asshole, Virginia.
Wherever the fuck he's from. Sorry, West Virginia. Ugh.
Close enough.
Fucking amateurs in this town. Anyway, so that's what we did then. I believe it was Tuesday. Alexis Hana and Shay Tate did a review of The Penguin, which did not give me an aneurysm. Good for them. I might be doing an alternative commentary coverage for Alexander Usyk versus Tyson Fury 2 this Saturday. I might be doing that solo. I might be doing that with Robert. We'll see. I haven't quite nailed that down yet. Sunday. I'm coming on Jesse's podcast to talk the second series of Sons of Anarchy comics, volumes 4 through 6. And then Monday night is the last good movie we're reviewing this year. It is Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Haven't seen it yet, but I assume that. Christmas Eve.
They made it 3.
Oh, they're so good. Like I swear by the Sonic movies. They are quite good.
I'm very excited for it because really? To quote to quote my ex-girlfriend about Shadow the Hedgehog, I love that edgy twink.
Speaking of edgy twinks, my son and I will be doing an alternative commentary on Christmas Eve in the holiday spirit and give you holiday cheer. The Merry Gentleman from Netflix. Yes, my son and I will be doing an alternative commentary about a Hallmarky Christmas movie where a male review saves a small town. Yep.
That sounds awful.
It sounds amazing.
Good luck with that.
Thank you.
I don't know if it's going to be any Hot Frosty.
Oh, nothing. Hot Frosty made my top 10 of the year.
But make it your little secret.
That's right.
Look out.
Jesse, you got to go back and find the sound of "Ha, it's a living."
It's a living.
Jesse cut together this fucking super cut of us going, "It's a living."
It's a living.
Where at the end of it, somebody is laughing so hard they like wheeze and fall over.
I think you were doing a lot of wheezing back then. It was probably you.
Yeah, well,
it tickles me. It's one of the funniest things. Like when I need a laugh, I think of the fucking "It's a living."
Yes. Welcome to Old Men Remember Stuff. Anyway,
nice to have a penis.
And then Jesse and I will be, speaking of penises, Jesse and I will be looking back on Heel Season 2 a week from tonight. And that's all for me. Thanks. I'm driving. Robert, you don't do anything besides what I tell you. Mick, you don't have a podcast except the ones that you're on. So, but you actually do shit. So you're allowed to do plugs. Do your plugs.
Guess what I just did? I actually created a whole page on Facebook about my paintings.
Oh,
yeah, I liked it.
I didn't have enough time to like cast it on the screen, so I'm going to show my phone.
Okay.
Okay, so it's Mick Creates, and that's what my page looks like. And so I have a bunch of my paintings on there.
Have you invited us to like it yet?
Yes, I did.
I already liked it. I was like, cool, it's pretty.
I mean, Jesse might be a part of that, but Jesse, you don't follow me on Facebook.
I don't know what the hell I'm doing on there.
Jesse's not Jesse's not allowed to follow young women on Facebook. His wife gets mad.
I'm looking for it right now, and as a matter of fact, I think I found it. I believe so. I will be liking it immediately. Follow.
You should. Thank you.
There it is. Yeah.
Anyway, I do paintings.
She does.
She said seductively for no apparent reason.
I do paintings, and of course, I can't get anything done for Christmas. However, I do paintings of anything you want, and I also sew. So if you need a button sewn or whatever, let me know.
All right.
I'll be there in 15 hours.
I'll see you.
To get your asshole shown shut? What are you talking about over there?
What? I mean, after meeting you, don't you think I need it?
Fair. Speaking of getting your asshole ripped open, Jesse, do your plugs.
I knew that I was going to have to follow that with plugs.
He usually follows an asshole. What can we say?
Because Kira Shea, poop today, Kira Shea, poop today.
All right, folks. Yeah, I'm part of a podcast. It's called the Source Material Comics Podcast, where we talk about comic books. We got a few shows on there. Currently, we have the Unspoken Issues podcast, which talks about 90s comics. It just aired this past Monday. It's me, it's Derry, and it's Dean. We talk about Gen 13. So if you're a Gen 13 fan, you might want to check that out.
I like Gen 13.
That first,
Shall I show you my library?
That first series, and we talked about the 0 issue and the half series. So if you want to check that out, go ahead and do so. Previous to that, it was myself and Al Sedano coming back to the Source Material Comics Podcast, and we talked Quantum and Woody. And again, funny book. Christopher Priest tells some great stories. MD Bright helping him out. It was great. And next week, the first episode of Source Materials Travel into the City of Bane. Me and Mark Radulich,
City of Bane under his control. Oh, yes. Right. Oh, wait. Mick doesn't know this. Explain Bane, but as Bane.
You see, there used to be some bullshit I would do back when this was an audio podcast. I would randomly do the Bane voice. Yes, Madame, you have a question?
I wonder if I would break you. You're so humanity.
What the fuck has this podcast become?
That was a very good impersonation of me, madam.
Oh, now we got Dorian
back there. You not have my permission to die.
Fucking dueling Banes. Wonderful.
He does it better than me.
Hey, you want to come in and do it, Dorian? Come on.
Do it. Do the Bane.
Let's hear it.
No one cared who I was till I put on the mask. It will be extremely painful for you.
You think the Bane voice is your ally, but I was born in it, molded in it. I didn't see Christopher Nolan until I was a man.
I didn't come back to stop. It was the lamb. So you came back to die with your city? No, I came back to stop you.
Came back to stop you. Every time I meet a girl named Rachel, every time. Where's Rachel? No wonder I'm single. Where's Rachel?
I think you started doing the Bane voice before this became the Metal Hammer of Doom. Like it
Was it when it was the 411 album review podcast?
Right, yeah, and you started doing the Bane voice, and so we would stop the podcast dead, and I would just go, "But tell me what Bane thinks of the album," and he would do like a 2-minute rant as Bane.
Oh my god!
I can still do it. I still have the power.
That's really funny. Jesse, what has this podcast become?
I know it. That's all I got.
Well, folks, thank you for joining us on our second of 2 Christmas shows. This was a lot of fun. Thank you for spending your Christmas with Body Count and the Metal Hammer of Doom Jukebox. For Mick Wanamaker, for Bane, for Bane Cooper, for Jesse and his AI girlfriend. I now have to spend the next 8 hours trying to get this thing up on YouTube without it getting nerfed for all the videos. Be well, be safe, and have a happy, happy holiday.